Hello everybody and welcome back to another live stream, and today we're going to be inking today's drawing and finishing off where we left off in the playlist, as you were listening to Batman Metal yesterday. So in a moment I'll get that going. That is by Comic Historian. But today, guys, what I was saying is we're going to be doing some more and finishing off this piece that we did yesterday. We're going to be using my fine line ink pen once again. I've only got the one. I should really invest in getting some more finer ones, because what I noticed in the last drawing I did with this ink pen, that it's not too fine of a line. But well, it's a fine line, but it's not fine enough to say do sort of very, very fine line on eyes and things like that. But that's not going to be the case today, because this character has a mask, and he is the angel of somewhat death, shall we say. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing this yesterday, guys. So hopefully you also enjoyed watching me doing this. And again, at any point, guys, if you want to leave a comment in the live stream, you guys can. And any comments welcome. If you've got any ideas for tomorrow, as tomorrow is going to be some more Angels of Death, or maybe an angel itself. But it will be with wings, as I really enjoy drawing wings. And as this week is all about wings, we're going to definitely get things done and get things sorted out. And good morning to Nicole. How are you doing there? Today, like I said, guys, we're going to be continuing on with the inking of this drawing. And like I said, I really enjoyed doing this yesterday, but that's because I love drawing wings. And hopefully you can see that okay. I'm just adjusting the camera so you can see most of it. We're going to be using my fine line pen, and we're going to be listening to that Comic Historian once again. So give me a moment, guys. I'm going to get that going in the background, because it helps me a great deal to have them playing around in the background, because what I noticed is music just depressed me and made me feel shit. So I'm going to be putting some more Comic Historian so you guys can listen to a story while I draw, and it helps me concentrate. And I'll also be looking at the comments as well, guys. So at any time you want to comment to me today, don't fret. Just tap that live chat button. Or if you really do like it, guys, leave a like on the stream today. But bear with me, as I've just started live. I'm starting a bit later today, because I've noticed Nicole's getting a bit burnt out and having to get up a bit early. So I started a bit later today, so she can actually join in that little bit later. So, Nicole, do you want to go yourself do you want to go and get yourself a coffee while I get myself sorted here and get the playlist going? Like I said, guys, we're continuing on with the dark metal Batman story. And if you guys are familiar with that, or if you're not familiar with it and you want to go and find out some more, go over to the Comic Historian. Again, I'll leave a link, if I remember, down below. If not, they are up on YouTube, and they're called Comic Historian. Like audiobooks, but like reading comics to you, and also they show you off a little bit of the comic. So if you can't read it yourself, or you're a little bit short for cash, then you get to see the gist of the comic and find out a little bit more. Just sorting everything out here, guys. So bear with me a moment or two. But definitely don't forget to leave a like if you do. Or if you're new to the channel, guys, my name is Blut084.
Destruction killed its master, and thus the world that should have dissolved lived on, and the forge began to darken. If there is any hope left, it lies in the world forge, with the last pure, bright metal of possibility before the fires go dark forever. Bruce then asks, what if Barbados has already turned the forge dark? And Dream says, if it is fully dark, then it is all lost. Whereas I cannot assist you, I can create a passage for travel to the World Forge if you walk with hope.
Okay, guys, let me know how this is coming through, because I don't know if it's that good at the moment. It did just pop up on me to say it's unstable. So whether I'm coming in clear, so definitely, guys.
They see wonder about what they can achieve. There must be one thing that you can think.
Just doing a test
Bruce
quickly, guys.
And smiles, telling him, Damien. And Clark smiles back as the two walk through the portal. Back at the Rock of Eternity, Diana begins reaching out to everyone but gets no answers. She then asks Dr. Fate if he can sense the mace anywhere, and he tells her yes, faintly, but there's something else. It's on a cosmic scale. I've felt it before, but it is stronger now, and it must be coming from something powerful or someone.
There's a slight delay, so if you're hearing this now, the delay is approximately
Diana looks at it asking, what
2 minutes.
Yell that it is the astral brain of the anti-monitor.
2 seconds, sorry. Well, there is quite a bit of delay, guys.
It could! Kendra shouts. Blow up the dark once and for all. The council of immortals entrusted her. It's the only way to be sure. Diana
is it still buffing there, Nicole? Like I said, am I back again?
Struggling in pain.
It might be because I've got that playlist just started as well.
Rip as blood pours onto the ground. A pair of wings spring out of her back, tearing through her body, and Dr. Fate asks if that is still Kendra. The being standing there tells them no, not Kendra. She is Lady Blackhawk. And all roads lead to darkness. Fate prepares to get them out of the room before he can finish bringing forth the
If I buffer, can you let me know over Instagram? Because I may not get the message here. I've just seen your message pop up, but like I said, there's a buffer thing. I don't know if you can see me live now or if it's like a couple minutes of buff.
So Vandal Savage himself struck a deal with
But it could be. It could because I just started that playlist.
At that time in the Forge of Worlds,
okay.
Bruce and Clark walked.
Let's start where we left off yesterday. I'm going to be inking this today, guys. I'm going to be using a fine line pen, and hopefully might be using a bit of these Copic markers as their brush pens, and they're really good for these kind of detailed pieces. I'm going to be using, I actually run out of lead on my other pencil, so I've got another one ready for tomorrow, guys. So if you've got any ideas for tomorrow, definitely leave them down in the comments there.
He dreams that he was a bird. No, not just a bird. A warrior. One that can fly. Gravity fades. He is truly free. But each night, that dream turns into a nightmare. All of his muscles weaken. His bones ache. Weight returns. The worst part, his wings shrivel and they shed. And in that instant, the man falls. But each night, he wakes just before hitting the ground and dying. And then he goes back to the cave that he's been sleeping in. He gets up adding another mark to the stone wall, keeping track of the days gone by. And just as the man carves in a new mark, he can hear the screeching from them. They're back, but this time the man is ready for them. Each week they come and they take another prisoner. The terrors of the sky, the Manhawks. The prisoners all run and hide, but the man doesn't run. Not anymore. The Manhawk swoops down to grab the man, but the man bashes the Manhawk's head with a stone hammer, thinking to himself that he's been biding his time for this. He's been preparing for this. The others just stand and watch, not reacting for helping, just watching. They are just ghosts. More of the Manhawks fly down, and the man grabs onto one of them, knowing that this is what he was born for. He was born for war. The two stumble to the ground, and the man looks back up, and he sees the other Manhawks flying back up towards their ship. So the man who cannot fly does the only thing that he can, climb. He climbs higher and higher, having the same thoughts of what he's been dreaming about, falling. And every dream he falls. This particular time, he doesn't. He keeps climbing higher and higher. And just as he reaches the top, he jumps, grabbing onto the flying metal ship. He makes his way through the ship, taking in everything that he's seeing. And as he walks through the armory, he knows that he has seen this place before. He knows this place, just like he knows those people down below. Somehow this is all familiar, but it's also so very wrong. The walls are filled with the artifacts of death, weapons of torture, a museum of the dead. As the man picks up a mace, he tells himself that this feels so right in his hands, like they belong there. And then it starts, the missing pieces begin to fill in, things that didn't make sense suddenly do, and he remembers who he is. He knows where he is and who put him here. Just as the man turns back, his captor appears, the Hawkman. The two begin to battle, the man remembers more of his memories. He received a distress call from Challenger's Mountain. The Challengers were lost in the dark.
I think I'm still alive, guys, but definitely let me know, because I'm not sure. I did try and check a moment ago, but I think it's going to make it worse.
For so long. This was the darkness that
I don't want to carry on, and I don't share everybody how this drawing today.
It was his destiny. Nothing could take him away from that. Nothing but this nightmare of Manhawks. And the Hawkman tells him, yes. It was I who built this prison. The two of us share thoughts. We know everything about each other. And the man shouts that he is a mistake, a cosmic accident, nothing more. The Hawkman asks him, do you really know who you are or what you've become? You were Carter Hall, the great explorer driven by nothing but discovery and love. Now you're an engine for the end of discovery. You will wither and die, killing all possibilities in your wake. The Hawkman laughs. Maybe I should go after Kendra. Carter Hall screams, "No!" as he hits the Hawkman with a mace. And he continues to slam that mace down, continuing to slowly remember the pieces. Kendra. He had almost forgotten Kendra. And the more he thinks, the more everything becomes a blur. Carter doesn't know who he is anymore. So instead he becomes rage. He becomes hatred. He becomes the Hawk. Carter wipes the blood from his face, looking down at the Hawkman, knowing something is wrong. He has all the pieces, but there are too many that don't fit. He has spent his lives uncovering mysteries. This place has done something to him, taken something. It's time to take it back. He grabs his wings and he flies. There are so many things that Carter doesn't fully understand right now. The one thing that he knows for sure is that he is Hawkman. And he is coming home. But as Carter flies, his nightmares come back. He isn't a bird. He is a warrior. One that can fly and gravity fades. He is truly free. Just like the nightmares, the wings shrivel and they fall apart, leaving Carter back to where he once was before. Afraid, alone, falling. Gravity returns, pulling him back into the blackness that is below. And this is the state that Carter Hall exists in, as he is currently the destroyer of worlds. In the current age of Gotham City, Barbados sits upon his tower, asking, "Time yet?" The Batman who laughs tells him, "Yes, my lord. It is time for him to wail. We may have lost Superman's powers, but his voice will shake the strings of the multiverse. The anti-music will bring the hordes of the dark here to this world. Open up and call forth the Dark Army." Barbados lifts his head and slowly begins to open up his mouth, preparing to release the
Dark armies then will come
scream.
with a number.
Back
It's
in the Forge of
41.
Worlds, Superman tells Batman that he can hear something, some kind of horrible noise. Batman shouts to him that he needs to focus. They need to try and get through to Carter.
Remember that?
As Carter brings down his hammer, Batman and Superman leap from platform to platform to avoid falling into the great lava pit below. Superman tells him that it's too late for them here. The Forge has gone dark, and Batman yells, "We can't believe that. Daniel said the metal in this forge would slay Barbados if it was bright." He then runs off the last platform, stating that there is some light left in the metal down there. We just need to get there. Back with Arthur and Deathstroke, the two exit the portal in the downed Atlantis, and they arrive in the center of the Earth. Arthur Curry looks at the burning magma contained in the sphere, and he says that this is the form of Atlantean technology protecting us from the heat. But it's some kind of hybrid. Deathstroke tells him, "Look, I can sense the nth metal in this orb. How about we try and figure out how to operate this thing and get on with it?" Meanwhile, over on Thanagar Prime, Hal Jordan and Mr. Terrific sit in their cell while Hal tries to concentrate on creating something from his will. But he's still having trouble. Terrific says that Starro is still jamming him. They need to find another way to get Plastic Man. And Hal tells him, "Yeah, but how?" And then a voice whispers to them, "Funny, you should ask." The two turn back and see a guard standing there, and Hal asks him, "Who are you?" And suddenly the man's skin begins to shift, and Martian Manhunter appears telling him, "I'm just an old friend."
Yeah, when
Before
I ink
Hal
it,
can ask
but
what
this
he's
is the
doing,
basic
John tells
inking
him that they
stage
need
of
to
it.
get
It is
out of
outlining
town.
it. Same thing as I do on the digital form. I outline everything. It gives the sketch a sharper edge. It pops everything out a bit more. Like I said, I may not even ink the wings itself. I may just go straight into colour with them. The perfect markers, you can blend them, so you can use, say, for yellow and a purple and skin colour with a touch of red and a bit of blue, something like that. Inking is just basically you sketch up. You can just go straight to ink and use ink pens itself. But I usually draw something, ink it afterwards, colour it after that, or shade it. Because shading helps me get where I need it to be. Like I can etch this in a moment, like use different lines and different forms of like things. So if I was say got a bit of shading here, you can't shade with a pen. So what I'll do is
she pulls her other
lines.
arm back, cracking Black Adam across the head with the mace.
You still got shading. It's not a thick scale set.
And then there's a gunshot, and as the bullet flies through the air, so does Diana's tiara.
You see, it's just lines, so it gives it a
smoking gun, telling her, I've met you a lot in my travels.
Can't think of the right word, but it gives like
friends, sometimes we fought. In other cases, we even had children.
a darker tone to what it is.
Before I killed them. Some people like to think
So
that the
again,
sounds of
like,
earth are
I
loud
can't
and death
line
are
it,
silent.
so I
But
just
let me tell
put
you a little
a
secret.
few lines there.
Endings are always the
And when I
loudest
rub it
of
out,
all.
say if I was
Over in the
to, I
center
can't do
of
it in a
the
minute
earth,
because
the
it's too
machine
wet,
begins to
but
rumble
once
as
I
it turns
go
on, and
rub it
soon the
out,
pure
you'll see
infallible begins to drip out of the
only
spout.
this
But as
character,
Death
and you
Stroke
won't
takes a
see any
closer look,
sketchy
he is
lines,
struck in
and
the
you won't
back
see
of a
any
harpoon,
shading because
and
I'll
just
get rid
as
of it,
Arthur turns,
get
he
ready
too is
for
shot
the
in the
colouring
stomach
in different
with a
tones and
harpoon.
colour.
They both look up to see Black Manta, and Manta says, "It looks like I know more about this kingdom's secrets than the king himself." Arthur struggles to tell him that he needs to listen. The world is going to sink into darkness if they don't stop this. And Manta tells him, "Yeah, but that's exactly what I want. I made a pact with Barbados." And just as he says that, Murder Machine, Red Death, and the Drowned step out. Back at Thanagar Prime, as Hal, Terrific, and Jean charge through a group of guards, Starro screams in pain. Terrific says that he's seen many things across the universe, but that is even a new one for him. And Hal tells him, "See, I told you I had one." As the three make their way to Plastic Man, Sin shouts, "Fine, if you want him, you can have him, but even with the egg, there's not much good you can do." The three make their way to the Phoenix Cannon, and Terrific says that this should brighten the Inf metal just enough to raise the Earth out of the dark. But as he looks at it, he says that it seems the effects are reversed. Doing so would hurt our cause. And Hal asks who would do that. Black smoke appears, and from it the Devastator, Merciless, and Dawnbreaker fly out, with Devastator stating, "It was changed by us." Back with Diana, the Batman who
Basically drawing the same drawing again, but you can put slightly more detail in with it.
She does best. Fight pointlessly to the very end, alone. There's a bright purple flash, and soon the Batman who laughs disappears. Kendra raises her blade, and Diana calls to her that she's being manipulated. As she charges at Diana, Diana gets up, wrapping her lasso around her fist, punching into Kendra's face, shouting that she needs to see the truth. Kendra falls to the ground, and as she gets up, she asks what happened. Diana tells her that she is Kendra Saunders, Hawk Girl, and she needs her help. It's time for them to cross over into the dark. And as the two take each other's hands, they jump into the portal and land in a destroyed world covered in twisted villains. The different versions of Diana begin to scream out that all roads lead to darkness. And also at this time, Superman and Batman jump down into the bright light of the lava. And as Superman says that he's sorry, Batman yells that it's not over yet. Superman says he's right. Wherever this will take them, they'll do it together. And as the creatures of the dark begin to surround Diana and Kendra, Diana says that she needs her to do something for her. And that is yell. And the two of them jump into battle, with Kendra asking why would she scream. And Diana tells her it isn't a scream, it's a war cry. As Bobo the Chip takes a closer look at his work, he says, "The unexplained life is not worth living. I used to know who said that, but now it's hard to remember anything. I can remember back when I was just an act in a circus and how my handlers were always mean to me. They would often hit and beat me, and I didn't do what they wanted. But out of that group, there was one man, a friend, who would save me. Rumor was that Fred wasn't all there in the head after being in a battle, but he was still kind to me, bringing me food, and even tried to help me learn songs. But because of that, the others killed him, and in Fred's final moments, he left my cage unlocked." As Bobo escaped fleeing into the jungle,
Okay, so I'm not going to do any more with that. I'm going to leave that there.
Just as things had come to an end, he appeared.
Won't ink the wings.
Rex. And Rex told him
because
not
I'll
to give up.
use
He's almost
my
there. Follow him to the fountain of youth. Bobo
grey
followed
and
Rex,
black is
even
going to
though
be the
he
colours.
couldn't
I'm going to
actually
black
understand
tip the
him,
wings
but
with
that's what he
this.
thought he had said. After
And
traveling
I'll
through
just
the
show you
woods, the two
quickly
came to
a close up of the brush
crystal
pen.
waters. They drank from this fountain.
As you can see,
All of
it's
Bobo's
not like a
wounds
felt
were
tip,
healed.
it actually
The pain that he had had for years
bends.
was gone. But there was something else. He began to understand things, and he saw clues, and he put them together, and all of it all made sense. Bobo returned to the circus and presented the evidence to have the men arrested, and from there, he set out to find out all that he could. And back in the current timeline at Black Hawk Island, why is he having trouble remembering? Why is he having trouble concentrating? Detective Chimp needs to learn what's going on. Bobo tells him that he thinks he doesn't understand what's happening. It feels like he's de-evolving. He can't remember who said the unexamined life is nor worth living.
Yeah, mate.
And a few moments later, Thomas Morrow steps down telling him that it was Socrates. And Bobo tells him, yes. Thanks to his hard work, he was able to make contact with the layers of the multiversal feedback with the Flash and the others. From his calculations, while escaping the dark multiverse, the challengers of the unknown used Red Tornado's wind harmonics to guide themselves to the House of Heroes. Before returning to Earth, that frequency appeared to be the same one that their allies were now riding on board the Monitor ship Ultima Fall, en route to the heart of the multiverse. Thomas says that Socrates is the least of their worries. His immediate concern involves the immutable laws of physics, which is why he must borrow Dr. Magnus for a moment. As the two leave, Thomas mentions that he feels that Detective Chimp is losing it. The bigger the words that he uses, the lower his intellect seems to go. They also have something else.
Let me leave that
Thomas
dry a
looks
second.
into a boiling pot of water with an egg in it.
Oh shit! I ain't
Willie
done
asks,
foot.
what is he looking at? Oh. Thomas then goes on telling him that the boiling point for the water is now 106 degrees. Whatever is happening is causing the laws of physics to fall apart. While Thomas and Willie begin to study the recent changes, Bobo continues to try and make contact with Cyborg and Flash aboard the Ultima Fall. Small patches begin to come in.
My son is here today, so hopefully when I plug my friggin'
everyone's going
PC
to
again.
die. SOS! The Flash looks back.
Oh, bear with me. Shut up. Snake it small, skip.
Asking Raven,
We'll get the advertisement and stuff like that, guys.
How things are going on her end, and she tells him that the vessel's living music empathetic drive is confused, afraid. Everything is out of tune. The music at Universal.
No, it's not holiday time for my son. He's just not very well.
The Flash says that all of the 52.
So that's why I was able to sort of bring a stream a bit later today.
At the same time, in the same place, but they're separated.
I've got more time, less time in the morning, so I've got more time in the afternoon. Because normally he'd be coming home in about 10-20 minutes. But he's already here, so I don't have to worry about him interrupting because he's already been warned not to unplug my PC.
The superjets, the last of the monitors to protect the multiverse. And the Flash says that sounds like
okay, let's get rid of some of these
The controls are designed for creatures who can alter their scale and pitch at will to travel throughout the multiverse. And that is something that he can do. Raven tells him that no, it's too late. Something is bearing down on them through the noise. Enormous, disoriented, faster than thought. The wild.
I don't know if you can see it disappear, but
missiles shoot by their ship, and the Batman who laughs says, "Look at them. They think
you see the difference? Maybe see the difference. I'm gonna get rid of all this now, and get rid of all the lines around here. There's no more sketchy lines on the actual character itself, so bear with me. You'll see them disappear, and you'll see what I mean by the difference between inking and pencil sketch.
Inside of the Ultima, and Cyborg explains to everyone that the carrier is powered by, get this, a caged baby universe. That's monitor scale nanotech. They can track and follow us anywhere. And the Batman who laughs begins laughing. They're finally getting it! Soon the Ultima Fall begins to pull out into the universe.
That does free me out to sort of put a sketch. I could use pencil to sketch this. No, sorry, not pencil. I could use Copic markers, but I can't also use Copic markers and pencils at the same time.
They'll be able to correct everything and prevent the dark multiverse from taking over. The Batman who laughs tells everyone to prepare to board. Murder Machine, open the door! Back in the Ultima, the doorway opens as Cyborg tells the Flash that he's the fastest one here. He knows what needs to be done. As the door flies open, Dawnbreaker flies in shouting, "You, God, with the darkest black, I will choke the light. No brightest day escapes my sight." Raven says that her dad's a demon, and that doesn't make her a god. She likes all kinds of music.
Now, do you see what I mean?
Make your
The difference between a pencil
You
and
scared the daughter
inking?
of hell. As Raven teleports, the Drowned shouts that she can teleport all she wants, but soon she'll run out of places to hide. As the Drowned and the Dawnbreaker miss their attacks, Raven tells them that she isn't hiding. She's buying enough time to take control of the constructs. While the constructs hold the two of them back, Raven then opens the door to kick the Drowned through it and asks the Flash if he's found it yet. Over aboard the carrier, the Flash says that he's found the baby universe, but the Merciless is here as well. The Flash quickly disables
Something I forgot to do, guys. I've actually
on the baby universe, but before he can do anything else,
just forgot to tell everybody I'm actually live on
the Flash says,
Instagram.
yeah, I predicted that. And the energy explodes, knocking everyone to the ground. Red Death starts to get up asking, what just happened? And the Flash tells him that he just hit him with a pure positive.
Oh, did you like that drawing? Oh, well, it's an old painting.
Polarity. It reversed you, Red Death. Red Death looks at himself, but he's now gold
More
instead of red,
different.
and he tells him, my name
More
is very out. Bruce is gone. The screaming rage.
It pops it out
How do
more.
I fix this? The Merciless begins to get up, and the Flash says, well, we're standing here at the end of the
It's a lot darker, and
doing
it's
our best to prove
I
that
prefer
still means something
inking,
to be a hero.
to be
Both
honest.
The Flash and Red Death turn their attention to the Merciless, and they begin punching. And while everyone continues
Yeah,
to
that
fight,
I've just
the
noticed
Flash
your
tells Red Death
likes
that
on
he was
Instagram there,
scared to
Nicole.
go. But Red
Did you
Death tells him
like
that
the
they
dragon to
the
go with your
Dark Knights
quote?
have captured the universe again. Someone has to stay to keep it from expanding until it's too big to recapture. Murder Machine says the carrier has been compromised. They must return before it's too late. Soon
Take
the
it.
Dark Knights begin to
Give me a
retreat
second.
from their carrier, their device that allows them to soar the multiverse. And the Devastator charges at the Flash and Red.
Just taking a quick picture on Instagram, guys.
There's always a
Again, my name is
sacrifice, no
Blut084BLU. T084, same name, different place. Ignore that horrible nail. That's actually for when I do murals and things. It helps me poise against the wall without touching the wall.
You gave them one last taste of hope. We expected this weakness from you. Now you can feel what it's like to be a being of darkness, charged with positive energy, and how it'll rip you to shreds. As the Red Death's body begins to shine and explode from within, all of the other Dark Knights stand there watching as he dies. Back on Black Hawk Island, Detective Chim sits on his desk, and the transmission from the Ultimate Call comes in, and Flash says that they did it. They're nearly to the house of us. The feed cuts out, and soon Detective Chim begins to feel the effects of his brain leaving. And when he suddenly begins to switch on Red Tornado activates.
I just asked if you liked it.
They've opened the door. They've opened the door to the dark. He released
how well can you hear me? Do I need to talk loud, or do I need to turn that down? It is there really for when it's dead air when I'm not talking.
Into the heart of the multiverse and watch it all die.
It all depends on where I'm standing in the camera as well.
Has been herded there. The first sign that the end has arrived will be a word, a plea: help. Back on the Ultimate Foe, Raven shouts to Barry that the carrier's warheads are firing, and they're charged with dark energy. They've become a poison dart. They're headed straight into the heart of everything. And the Flash says, they wanted this. They were hunting us. They were aiming us. We need a miracle now. As the Ultimate Foe gets closer to the House of Heroes, everyone on Black Hawk Island begins to prepare for the worst. And Thomas says that it's been a pleasure working with them. Detective Chip tries to talk, but as he does, his speech begins to revert, and suddenly he begins to feel something pulling at his mind. A bright light shines, and a voice calls out to him from inside his mind. He looks around, asking if that's Stubbs. Where are we? And Stubbs tells them that they are super chimps. They got to stick together until the end. Soon, more of the super chimps begin to appear, and Batman Chimp asks Detective Chimp, "You wondered what DC meant, right? Detective Chimp, we've watched your life. And we've got everything fixed.
No, I'm being a dumbass about this. I can move that closer.
The 53rd world is here to help. So, are you ready to save the universe, Detective Chip? As Diana and Kendra begin to fight off against Barbados' endless horde of his dark armies, the remaining Dark Knights capture the other heroes, placing everything onto Diana, Wonder Woman's shoulders. The more that Kendra and her fight, the more that Kendra sees the odds are not in their favor.
Can you still hear it?
To fight through the twisted versions of the dark multiverses. Heroes and villains, but soon they begin to become over.
Just as whether you like the drawing to go with your quote. That was a question. Can you hear that? I need people to be able to hear that.
Diana clutches Carter's mate, stating, "I will not let them stay in that dark dream. Even if it is just me alone, I can't leave them." Kendra says they can't keep going on like this. She can't keep.
Both the speakers aren't together anymore. They're separated, so it might break. You might take away a little bit of the boom from it.
That to play the note and hard. Diana takes the bass and slams it against her vampiresses, calling out to everyone to hear her call. As the clang of metal rings throughout the air, the other Justice League members hear it, and all at once their eyes open. They awake.
Am I coming across a lot better now because I've actually lowered my tone and voice? I'm not shouting anymore.
Destro tells everyone, this is kind of pointless since we have no metal. Mr. Terrific shouts to Plastic Man, telling him, "I know you can hear me. Now is the time. I know you're afraid that you're going to lose control, but we need your help. Form a dinosaur, a bulldozer, or a damn shark. Anything." Plastic Man's egg begins to shake, and he says, "Okay, Dr. Holt, how about all of the above?" Just then, Plastic Man breaks out of his egg, and he begins to tower over the Dark Knights, and he begins to reap everyone in sight. Diana looks back to see Plastic Man carving a path for them, and Diana and Kendra hurry on ahead, with Plastic Man telling them the mace isn't enough for Barbados. "I got signals while in the Oblivion. Maybe there's something in there, like a source. We have to hurry, though." As Diana and Kendra get closer to Barbados' mountain, they find the portal that uses to bring these dark armies in. Diana tells Kendra to take the mace. She's
not in the mood.
Kendra says that she can't. There's too much dark metal in her.
I'm not going dancing.
Wonder Woman
not going dancing.
Carter wrote that one would find their way through the darkness. All they have to do is stay true to their heart and focus. And Diana asks, she makes people see the truth, that they are loved and worth it, just as she did for her. Wonder Woman is what binds everyone together, saving those who feel alone and hopeless. Diana takes her lasso and hands the end to Kendra. And as Diana lowers herself into the portal, Kendra tells her, "I won't let go. And Diana tells her that she knows. Diana looks down and
you want a picture to go with your quote? I need a quote to it to go with.
That this is for her friends, her family. All she needs to do is find the source. She stops trying to see through the darkness, and the voice of Carter Hall tells her that the forge is dark now and forever. The metal of possibility is cold, and her friends have returned to.
Just on a quick note there, Nicole, what do you think? You know that said thing about the tattoo or the wings, because that's going to be next. This was just like me having a mess around really, to see what kind of shape I wanted the wings to be in. But what do you think of these wings? And what do you think of something else? I don't know.
Telling Diana and Kendra that will be enough. My dark knights have conquered your worlds. We have waged war across the multiverse, and now. But then
you said you wanted an angel of death. This is my interpretation of Angel of Death. And I know you like the book.
The musical ship that flies along the frequencies of the multiverse, along with Bobo the Chimp, known as Detective Chimp, leading the charge of the Batman of the 53rd Earth. Attack him! But back down below, Carter Hall is stunned. Diana looks at the molten lava surrounding Carter and tells Kendra that she knows what needs to be done. Hold tight to the lasso. Make Carter see. Diana dives into the lava, and Kendra yells to Carter that he needs to remember who he is. We're Carter Hall and Kendra Saunders, proud leaders of the tribe of the bird. We've lived for 1,000 years, and this is not where our story ends. It has been stolen, and we have to take it back. As Kendra goes on, the Joker Dragon...
Is this something that you would like, or something else? Because obviously I've given them a mask, because I just gave up on faces for a minute, so I've had a bit more practice with them. I'm a lot more better at designing a mask, and that is a mask. Like I'll give him a skin tone, but it's not as easy to give him a skin tone as saying that's a skin tone there. I'm not just, you know, when I shaded it with the pink to the orange, I can't do that with the Copic markers because that's a very bright pink.
The multiverse is falling apart, but Cyborg and me found some cavalry at the House of Heroes. What the heck are you guys even wearing? Batman tells him it's the 10th metal from the Forge of Worlds, and the Flash says, "Yeah, well, you win." Diana tells Cyborg to turn the Thull around, but as he's about to, Barbados begins his attack on the ship. Cyborg tells them that they are fine but trapped. Raven can't get us out of here just yet, but he spotted the cosmic tuning fork. Barbados has it at his summit. They can use it to channel the 10th metal. And as Diana and the others try to get above everyone, Superman tells Batman, "You can climb up on my back, so that." But as Superman speaks, a Joker Dragon tries to bite down on Batman. So he punches it in the nose, climbing on the back of it, telling Superman, "I got it." Once Batman is high enough, riding the Joker Dragon, he calls out to Aquaman and Hal Jordan. And as he does, the light
try and decide what colours to use. Or I could just go straight in with the wings on this.
The story in Carter's journal continues. It is said that the 8th
put a little bit of red.
Gods. The 9th metal is the dark energy that gives its
I don't want to put any colour on here now because I'm a bit worried.
That is the metal of the so-called forge itself. A pure possibility.
I got red in my hand. Red's dangerous because I like red. Red could pretty much cover the whole thing and I would be happy with it. But I won't do that because it will ruin it. We got red, we got purple, we got maybe blue, a little bit of green, skin tone, black obviously, and yellow, and really, really bright pink. And as he's male, I don't think we'll be using pink. We'll be using the skin tone. We'll be using the black. I like the purple anyway. Blue is always there for it. Red and blue are kind of knackered now because obviously I draw Spider-Man quite often. Green and yellow. So we'll put these aside. Because we're definitely using these ones. I'll use these here. Put those there.
We're going to blow apart the realm! And that's when a voice calls out to the Batman who laughs, and Batman
okay. The mask is going to stay white.
You know your suit of armor won't work down here. Its energy is canceled out. So it's just the two of us and my sons. The Batman who asked Robins all begin to run towards Batman, shouting, Crow, Crow! And Batman drops a smoke bomb as he jumps over them.
See how dark that is?
Batman who laughs, and Batman himself start to take shots.
Really should invest in some more coping markers. There's so many different tones of coping markers, and they're really, really expensive. So it's like,
he falls to his knees, and the Batman
which ones to buy for what I'm doing, really.
I like to keep it as a reminder. But the Batman laugh then because it's
I did use this on piece before, and the skin is very, very dark. Then again, I could use pencil for the skin for a lighter tone.
But that's when there's another gunshot. Except the Batman who laughs suddenly has a flag sticking out of his back with the
I'm gonna go on the black. I'm gonna stay with the black for a minute.
Flag out, then the Joker steps out. You know, you're more like the Batman who talks. But still, this Batcave is better. The Batman laughs, pulls out his weapon, telling him, so we're gonna have an old-fashioned three-way fight. And the Joker says, not exactly. So, partners, bats. Bruce pulls out 3 batarangs, telling him, I'm going for the legs. And the Joker pulls out a batarang axe, telling him, I'm gonna take the face. Together, Bruce and the Joker begin to take down the Batman who laughs. And as this is happening, Bruce looks over and tells the Joker, let's be very clear about this. We will never speak of it. The Batman who laughs manages to push Bruce and Joker back enough to try and run to his destruction device. But the Joker throws one of his axes, cutting the Batman who laughs arm, and it lands in the lever. Bruce runs over, grabbing the Batman who laughs, and as the Batman who laughs reaches out for the lever, the Joker swings with another axe, cutting off his fingers. The Batman who laughs pauses for a moment and begins laughing. And he makes a break for the device again. Back outside, the heroes fight through Barbados' armies. However, Barbados himself stands above a defeated Carter, holding his hammer. Barbados gets ready to lift the hammer up, and as everyone sees this, Diana pulls off her bladed vambraces and throws it at Kendra. Diana tells her to go, and just as Kendra slides on the vambrace, she spins back around, flying through Barbados' back and out his chest. As his body begins to bubble and fade away, Kendra says that was satisfying, but he won't stay down for long. Diana then says that the antenna that was destroyed was their last option, and Bruce comes out of the cave with the overmonitor stating, maybe not. The overmonitor tells everyone that the armors that they are wearing forges everything. It is in every bit of matter, every living person in trace amounts. It is dangerous and it is powerful. There has never been so much on Earth before, so through all of the humans, you can connect all of them and raise the Earth. Bruce asks if what he is saying is true, that they can use the 10th metal to reach out to everyone that is lost in the dark multiverse, in the darkness, and show them a way back. Fulcrum Avernus. So, the Justice League puts their hands together and they begin to focus their energies, looking for those who are lost. Their energy reaches out to everyone across the world, connecting one another and brightening the entire planet. And as the Earth is covered in light, the heroes begin to see something.
Everybody loves the black and red.
The heroes did cast out the Dark God, however, they also broke something else, the Source Wall. And now with a hole in the very foundation of the edge of the universe, greater mystery.
Hands are quite shaky.
In the epilogue of our story, the heroes returned home, where Bruce welcomed everyone to the Wayne Manor to hold a celebration for their hard-fought victory over Barbados. As everyone takes their seats, Bruce says,
I know what you're talking about.
Before they get started. For the most part, their world has been set right. The damage caused by Barbados and his Dark Knights has been
my hand's shaky.
By virtue of the 10th metal armor that they wore, Challenger's Mountain stands where it belongs, in the heart of the Rockies. Barbados is trapped in chains, forged by the Overmonitor himself at the bottom of the Dark Multiverse, forced to watch the World Forge burn bright. Seeing them all here now, he just wanted to say that he is so damn proud of each and every one of them. With that, he wanted to thank them. However, there is another reason that they've all been brought here. It is not to revel in their victory, but to understand what is coming next. Bruce looks at Kendra and says that it's time. She says that he's there.
I'll go in afterwards with this pen as well, and then give it the wings more detail. Just outlining them at the moment.
But Hawkman will fly again. Before falling unconscious, he grabbed his journal and started to write with an intensity that scared me. His first entries were what he had seen, but this wasn't about the past, but rather the future. What we did not rewind to the universe. The universe was rebuilt, and in doing so, new things have been forged. All we have right now are some notes, but some passages include Lantern, Dark Stars, Wonder Woman, Dark Pantheon, Aquaman, Atlantis, Risen. If what Carter wrote is true, then we may have brought some dark desires to life. Bruce says this brings him to a larger point. He's been speaking with the gods of New Genesis. They have confirmed what they all saw. The Source Wall, the boundary of the known multiverse, has been broken wide open. And Arthur said that for the sounds of it, their universe is like a tiny fishbowl that just got poured into the damn ocean. So then, they've all come here to strategize what to do next. Bruce tells him no. These threats are real, but they are coming tomorrow. And what got us through it is each and every one of us. So tonight we're going to acknowledge just that. We will have one night before we go into action. A night as one tribe, standing together. So with that, the heroes toast to new beginnings. And Bruce says to everyone that if they follow him into the next room, he has some entertainment for everyone. Everyone heads over there. Damien and Jonathan hit the guitars as Alfred backs them up with the drums. Everyone is dancing and enjoying themselves, but Bruce pulls Clark and Diana aside, leading them down the hall into another room. Clark says the universe just seems to have gotten so much bigger, and Diana adds that they're going to have to rethink everything. Bruce tells them that he knows, don't worry. He's been working on a plan. Spread it across the desk in front of them is the blueprints with the title Hall of Justice written on it. If you stayed around, holy crap, thank you. Thank you. Each and every one of you. And don't forget that if you want to support more videos like this, you can join us over on our Patreon, linked down below. It's over there that you can get a weekly podcast, you can get raffles for comic books, you can get featured on the videos themselves, or you can join us for a movie night. All of that over there to support us more directly. And I invite you to join us there.
They're comic story, guys. Again, it's their offers, not mine.
Patreon. Why wouldn't I invite you to join me over there? Either way, thank you for watching this incredibly long video. You are awesome, whoever you are that watched this. Paul, Mike, Jessica, Shelly, Vivian, Richie, Archie,
yeah,
Bruce,
you don't want to hear any of that.
Clark, Diana, Michael. I think I said Michael. Bob.
Have some of that.
Where we
Give me a
begin,
second, guys. I'm going to find another playlist to carry on. That was ended now.
who we will become. As you write your odyssey,
Just find another dark metal playlist because that wasn't all of it. That was just the main storyline of it. So bear with me a moment. While I'm away, let me know what you think. Thing about that, what I could have is comics explained in the background. They explain the comics. Won't do Venom because he's coming later on in the month. Okay, we'll have the Darkest War, Justice League. I'll go with Dark Month.
Some people say that the Justice League is a little too overpowered. But what would happen if you turned them into gods?
Okay, so we got Darkest War, the Justice League now playing in the background.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series. We take trade paperbacks and single issues. We break them down into the decimal bites to help you understand. Then we're going to automatically back to you. All alterations in the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems.
They help me a great deal listening to this
Don't
stuff.
forget to support this great industry by buying your books
Takes my
online
mind
at
off what I'm actually drawing.
or buying them at your local comic book store.
If you think about it too much, you end up having, you get too focused into it.
But they were warned that the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid were on their way. Well, what's going to happen now that the war has finally been brought to Earth? Can they defeat Darkseid and his minions? Maybe.
It might actually be
Our tale
the same
begins with a
thing we
man
just
working
listened
his
to.
way into the deep depths of Apocalypse, the home of Darkseid and his army.
No, it's not.
The man's name is Scott Free, and he was from New Genesis, the home of the New Gods. But when he was 7, the children of the High Father and Darkseid were exchanged in an effort to broker peace. It didn't work, and Scott was thrown into the slave pits where he was forgotten. Years passed, but eventually he learned to pick the lock and set himself free. And slowly but surely, he worked his way around Apocalypse, until eventually he was able to break away completely and get himself to Earth, where he took the name Scott Free, and he now goes by the superhero name Mr. Miracle. But that's where he started, not where he is now. He's breaking into Darkseid's vaults to steal himself a mother box, because rumors have been started that Darkseid is preparing for a war. He's been making more parademons from the poor souls of every world that he's conquered in the entire multiverse. And in order to stop him, Mr. Miracle will need the help of one group, the one group that has been able to stop him, the Justice League. The Justice League, though, they've been dealing with a few changes recently. While they still have Superman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman, there are now a few new members of the roster ever since the events of Forever Evil and the Amazo virus. There is an individual called Power Ring that is using the evil Green Lantern ring from Earth 3 for good as a member of the Justice League now. And like
you didn't know, guys, that in the DC universe, it's like
the Justice League, more
52 different universes.
Anything, but ever since the event of
there was thousands, but they had to cut it down because obviously they were jumping between too many of them. And that's what you just heard there. Dark Metal was actually the end of all the different universes. There are so many different stories and narrations of that story, but this is like another side of it.
Meanwhile, Superman and Lex Luthor are making their way into Lex Luthor's bunker to check on the status of Neutron after the events of the Amazo virus. Ever since they stopped him, cancer has slowly been killing the man, and Luthor doesn't think that there is anything he can do to save him. So, Superman challenges Lex Luthor to cure cancer, and Captain Cold snickers because he gets to watch Lex Luthor take that challenge. Back on Apokolips, Mr. Miracle is looking for a woman that Darkseid has his soldiers looking for, by the name of Irina Black. When Darkseid himself appears, they stare at each other, and Mr. Miracle throws a disc at Darkseid that doesn't even throw him off his footing. Darkseid's eyes then begin to fill with power as he fires his eye beams at Mr. Miracle, destroying the ground that he was standing on, knocking Mr. Miracle over. Then Darkseid walks over and places a single boot onto Mr. Miracle's entire body. So Scott struggles to reach out for the mother box that he came here for, and he tells it, "Mother box, get me out of here!" And then, boom! He's gone, and Darkseid walks away, not even fazed by this. But this is only the beginning, as the Flash is talking to Power Ring when suddenly he stops, because someone is climbing out of his mouth, boom tubing onto the earth through the Flash's body. The woman stands over him declaring, "First blood." And then everyone can see her, draped in Darkseid symbols and colors. And she looks at Batman, realizing that he is a threat even without powers. So she decides that she's going to get the drop on him and leaps over him, striking him in the exact location to take him out of the fight. Then, as Cyborg fires a beam at her, she sees the technology of the mother box inside of him and demands it. She shoves him to the ground and begins tearing off pieces of his armor and throwing them aside before she's hit by Shazam. Shazam then runs over to Cyborg's aid, but she grabs Shazam by the head and stabs him through the stomach. But before she can finish Shazam off, Wonder Woman grabs her from behind with a lasso, demanding to know who she is. The woman manages to get free, so Wonder Woman calls up Superman, telling him that the League is under attack. And she has no idea who this is because the lasso didn't work. But the woman overhears and tells her, "It is no secret. I am an Amazon, and I'm completing the mission that we were created for." With that statement, she hits Wonder Woman's braces with the full power of her eye beams, shattering them before tackling Wonder Woman and bringing her to the ground. Back in the bunker with Lex Luthor and Superman, Lex brings Superman into his armory, where he has a new power suit, entirely secret evil plan that Lex Luthor has, and he tells him, between this and the Amazo virus, the League is done with you, Lex. So Lex turns on Superman, hitting him with a blast of power from his suit, telling him, "Who are you to decide?" And then someone shoots Lex Luthor, and he falls into Superman's arms. As Superman sees the shooter is
we'll let that wing dry a moment.
Lex's sister. Don't be surprised, Superman. Everyone hates him. Meanwhile, back at the battle,
I will take away the shading
in to take out the mystery woman, only to have her send his energy back at him in a full feedback pulse, dropping him. She then jumps in, grabbing Jessica Cruz, the power ring, exclaiming that this is the one that she's after, because her evil power is linked to another universe, and she needs those shadows to bring down the one that she is summoning. So she draws the power out of the ring, tapping into the other universe, breaking the sky above everyone, falling to the darkness. And the Anti-Monitor arrives on Earth from the beacon. Back with Superman and Lex, Lena takes out a mother box and sucks everyone into it, and they all go to Apokolips, just as Scott frees mother box and drops him off in front of Irina Black, the woman that everyone is looking for. Now that they're on Apokolips, Lex and Superman realize that this is not somewhere friendly, and they begin walking through the cities. But back on Earth, the battle continues as Wonder Woman jumps in to continue battling against the Mystery Woman. And the Anti-Monitor smashes the ground in front of her, stopping this fight. Wonder Woman looks up at him. "What are you?" "I am desperate." At that moment, Metron appears to our heroes, and using his boom tube, he teleports them all away from the Anti-Monitor and the Mystery Woman. The Anti-Monitor then looks down at the woman. "Next, you will bring me your father." And she tells him, Darkseid is already on his way. Irina Black brings Mr. Miracle into her base of operations.
Just going to pull up a picture on the internet a second of a wing before I go any more detail on the wings.
To save the world from war, and she wants his help.
Very, very handy to get reference images because as you just You
that
can go
Darkseid was
freehand,
going
and then
to
all of a sudden
display
you
the
just
entire
come something
multiverse.
completely
So she created
backwards.
a weapon
I've done a
by
wing
having
that
his
the
daughter
lines that should be going
brain.
downwards.
She then
I've
sent
done them
Grail
going
across the multiverse
upwards,
to find
if that
the
makes
one
any
being
sense.
capable of defeating Darkseid. And she found
So,
him.
no, I
The
can't really show you.
anti-monitor,
Actually,
and
no.
she brought him to Earth.
Um,
Mr. Miracle is in shock. You started this
my
war.
pencil.
Here,
Instead of doing-
millions will die.
my hair.
War is
Instead of
not
doing
free.
a
There's
line like
always a
this,
cost.
I've
And
done a line
obviously,
like
we
this.
don't want the same thing.
That makes
She
any
lunges
sense.
at him. Mr. Miracle makes a break for it, asking the Mother Box to bring him somewhere with friends. And boom! He's gone. Over with Metron and the Justice League. Everyone wants to know what's going on, and Hal explains that this is Metron. While he may claim to be a good guy, he's not. I dealt with him recently when the New Gods attacked Oa to try and find a White Lantern ring. And Metron explains that he was only there to observe. He observes all. He has seen the Justice League save the world multiple times, but this is not the time for them to save it. It is time for them to say goodbye to their loved ones. So Wonder Woman throws her lasso on him and demands to know, who is the Anti-Monitor? And Hal tells her, it won't work. He doesn't have the knowledge. It's in the chair. He's basically plugged into a giant Wikipedia. So she asks again, differently, how do I get my answers? And he tells her, take his chair. So she yanks him off of the chair. The chair begins to teleport
see the
himself away,
difference?
but Batman runs over to it and he sits down. And then all of the power and knowledge of the universe shoots through Batman, connecting him to the chair. He can see all. He can understand all. He knows the answers to everything. So he asks, who killed my parents? You're killed, right? I knew that. What's the Joker's true name? No,
Wow.
that's not possible. And then Wonder Woman stops him. Bruce, are you okay? Of course, Diana. I'm a god now. And then he asks another question. Who is the Anti-Monitor? That is the only thing that my Mobius chair doesn't know. He tells me.
Sorry about that,
And
peeping.
then
It's on
realizing
the
that he just told him
playlist,
that it
guys.
was his chair.
It's loud.
Everyone tells him to get off before it does any serious damage. And he smiles. I have this under control. Back on Apocalypse, Superman and Lex are trying to figure out why they're there, because Superman's extra-vision doesn't seem to be working. Then, all of the slaves on the planet begin to attack Lex and Superman, chanting, "Death is freedom! Death to Superman!" Lex
Wish I had
manages
a-
to blast
I
them
wish
all
I had
off
a
with Superman, and then Superman punches
grey.
the ground, sending
Like
them
I said, you can
offline.
get grey colored
So Lex
markers
looks on
and
in
they.
horror as
I mean, I
Superman
could use
leaves.
pencil, I
The
suppose.
planet
But
isn't near the sun and is depleting Superman's powers fast. Meanwhile, back with the Justice League and the new god of knowledge, Batman, Mr. Miracle boom tubes in, and he grabs Wonder Woman's lasso so that he can tell them that he is a friend and he is here to help. He has a new plan to get the Anti-Monitor to leave Earth, and he wants everyone's help to do it. He needs them all to come with him. But Batman refuses, saying that he's going into the depths of the multiverse to find the answer to who the Anti-Monitor is. And Hal Jordan tells him that if he's going to space, that's my domain. I'll go with you. Mr. Miracle then chains Metron to a post nearby, and everyone heads off for their missions, while Metron smiles. Soon, I'll be free. Superman and Lex keep running on the planet Apocalypse, trying to avoid all of the slaves and the parademons, until they find themselves boxed in and Superman unable to fly. So Lex Luthor holds his hand out. Take my hand and trust me, Superman. Back on Earth, the heroes appear before Grail, just at the same moment that Darkseid boom tubes in. Power Ring turns to Wonder Woman. Who do we fight? And Wonder Woman wonders, who is the lesser of these two evils? Over on Apocalypse, Lex Luthor is
Just putting
Superman
an image up, guys. Bear with me.
suit, but the parademons can fly, and Lex isn't fast enough, so he flies over a pit of solar energy, and he drops Superman. The theory is that Superman will be granted his powers again and be able to save them. But as Superman falls, hurting his own skin, Lex realizes that something is wrong. Because Superman rises up, all blacked out, shouting, I should have killed you a long time ago, Lex. He is now the god of strength. Deep in the
I would love something
that would be an
delicious
advert. Bear with me.
with reduced sugar.
Satisfied.
Something for you.
multiverse, Batman and Hal are traversing it, looking for the origins of the Anti-Monitor, and it brings them to the destroyed Earth 3, the home of the evil Justice League. But this isn't where they stop. They need to go to Quard, the
Too much going
birthplace
on.
of the Anti-Monitor. While back on Earth, the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid are slugging it out with such force that everyone is being thrown down. While this is happening, Grail is battling against her brother Calabec, as she manages to scar his eyes. And then Wonder Woman leaps in to continue
If
her
I buff
fight
for a
with
minute
Grail.
or two, it's
But
because I'm
back
faffing around in the background,
Superman
guys,
is
so
now
bear with
hovering
me.
over Lex, and then in one move kills all of the parademons. He then hovers over Lex. once
Nicole,
again,
you can
and
do
Lex,
this.
with sweat beating down his
I'd rather you
forehead,
let me do
is
it,
scared.
but you can.
Lex, did you honestly think you ever stood a chance against
It's
me?
just a matter of
You only
practice.
ever
It's just a
come
matter of
close, because
really
of
like
one reason.
taking a
He
picture
blinds his
that you
arm
like
up
to
ready
see
to punch Lex
and
Luthor
drawing it.
because I helped back on Earth.
I know that
Everyone's
sounds
trying to
dense,
stop the
and you're like,
Anti-Monitor
oh,
and
you'll just
Darkseid,
draw
but
it.
it's all
But trust me,
worthless. So the
that's
Anti-Monitor enacts his
all you do.
plan,
You
summons the
see a
Black
picture and you
Racer.
go,
Death
well,
itself
that's
to
what the shape of that
battlefield.
is.
During
That's
this,
what the
Batman
shape of
and
that
Green
is.
Lantern make their way
That's
to
how you draw
planet
that
Thor,
line.
the birthplace of the Anti-Monitor. And Batman
'Cause that's how I drew
realizes
this
that the
picture.
Anti-Monitor came to this planet to seek the forbidden, and he became cursed because of it. Free will is at the center of the entire universe, and the white light is where everything comes from. Batman and the Green Lantern both stand at the source of all creation, at least where it was, until the being known as Mobius unleashed it. Mobius, the man that invented the Mobius chair that Batman is sitting on, the first man to seek out the knowledge of the creation of the universe. Batman then realizes that Darkseid doesn't know the truth. He doesn't know the truth about the anti-life equation, the thing that he's been seeking since its inception. Mobius touched the anti-life equation. That is why he became the Anti-Monitor. While they figure this out, the Anti-Monitor points to the Flash and he turns
Twitter
him
is
into the
taking
host
ages
of
to
death.
open up.
The Black Racer becomes the Flash. And then the Anti-Monitor turns the Flash on
Shit,
Darkseid.
I just thought of something.
know
Before I
your
go
one
completely
weakness,
colouring this
Darkseid.
in,
I was
you know what I
changed
should
into
do? Take a
this
picture of it
because
on my
I held what
tablet.
you
And
wanted,
what I'll do is
and
I'll
I
outline
found
the
you
wings in a
forever.
moment on this
The
side.
anti-life
Then I'll
equation
take a
is
picture of.
in my veins.
Give me a second. I'll
And
turn
then
that down.
using
It's
his
going to be
power
loud again.
and the speed of the Flash, he kills Darkseid. As Darkseid hits the ground in a pool of his own blood, Wonder Woman begins to hear laughter
That's
from
bad.
the god of laughter, Helios.
Take a picture of it, then I can
This is the
digitize
end
this as
of
well.
that
Because,
war.
as everybody
Gods
knows,
are
I
dead.
draw, I sketch it, then I ink
The
it, and then
justice
I
gods.
take a
Thank
picture,
you for
take
joining
it
us.
over to the creative
Make
file
sure
the
you
next
go to
time,
the next issue
and I
in
will
the
then
Dark Side
digitize it.
War if you want to know what's going on, because it will be a little while.
And as
before
we've
we
already
get
got a
to
jump
it.
on today's
Thank you, and I'll see you.
episode of just inking it, we've got another episode or 3 days spare to do it with. We can go away adverts. I just literally sat down. Shut up. Oh god, another
Where
advert.
we begin does not define.
Two adverts in one comic story. Tut tut tut.
With Darkseid dead and the Justice League now the Justice Gods. What now? Welcome to the Complete Story.
Sector is taking
Picture
ages
paperbacks
to
and
open.
single issues, and we break them down into the decimal bytes to help you understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations.
Don't you
of
stop puffing
Thanos
on me as
takes
well,
it.
man.
Images
Ain't
are written
funny.
copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective
Thank you.
companies. This takes place around all of our Justice League God videos. During the video God of something,
Just basically
then you
a line
can
through
go
it.
to that tie-in video to follow their additional adventures. Also, keep in mind, this is the middle adventure. There is no resolution. Darkseid is dead. But can a god die? Is it true, Motherbox? Mr. Miracle asks. Yes, Darkseid is dead. Scott, you are free. Shazam hovers nearby. Shouldn't we be worried about the fact the Anti-Monitor has up and left with his army? I mean, he didn't even stick around to gloat. Did I do that? The Flash asked, standing nearby looking at his hands. Mr. Miracle looks at him. No, the Black Racer did, Flash, not you. The Black Racer was Darkseid's ultimate weapon, but it needed to be bound to a host. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing, Mr. Miracle? Because all of the previous hosts are all... I'm not them. I don't want to escape death. I want to control it! Flash, God of Death! Meanwhile, back at Apocalypse, Superman is floating near Lex Luthor, completely covered in black and white. Can you hear it, Luthor? I can. Across Apocalypse, the mother boxes are telling their slave masters, and the slave masters are telling the slaves. Ding dong. The witch is dead. And he grabs Lex Luthor by the head, and he begins to lift him off the ground. Superman, the cells from those pits are tearing you apart. You need my help before it destroys you. I don't need your help, Luthor. I'm going home. But you aren't going anywhere. He then tears Lex Luthor's suit off of him, and he throws him to the ground. Never come back to Earth. Then Superman, God of Strength, leaves the planet. Lex calls for Superman to wait, but it's too late. He's already left the planet. Over, somewhere else in the multiverse.
Still need to take a
Batman
picture.
and
So I have to turn that comic story off. Give you a moment.
God of Knowledge.
Get my tablet. Tablet to play. Take a picture. Am I buffing? I think I am. We don't need Critter open. I think it's buffing the computer. Turn everything off for a minute. Okay, we've got a picture of that, so let's back to where we were.
Informs Green Lantern that the war is over. Darkseid is dead. What about the Anti-Monitor?
Now I'll take another quick picture for Instagram, guys. Bear with me. While I do that, share this picture to everybody.
I need to be the Batman and think about the needs. No, you need to get the hell out of that chair. But as the Green Lantern reaches out for Batman, he feels a shock of pain. Without Darkseid, the parademons are without their leader. They are moving free out there in the universe, and they have found the brightest light. Oa, go take care of your colleagues.
You can see it in more detail on the extra Instagram, guys, because this is quite fuzzy because of the camera.
The God of Light. Back in Apocalypse, Lex Luthor is stranded and alone. Well, not alone. As a hook comes flying out of nowhere to capture him, he hits the ground hard, kicking up dirt, mixing in with his own blood, and a woman in rags walks over to a small army. Stand him up. I am Ardora, the leader of the Forgotten People. Is that supposed to impress me? If you knew us, it would. What do you want with me? Maybe nothing, maybe everything. The blind prophet has written that on the night of Darkseid's death, a human would walk through the ashes of Apocalypse and everything would change. It is written that this human is a great hero from a place called Metropolis, and he has saved that world many times, and he will bring us hope. Are you this man? Lex Luthor wipes the blood from his mouth and looks up to her. Yes, I am. And then she hits him with lightning. Meanwhile, back with the rest of the League, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Power Ring, and Shazam. Shazam suddenly screams out in pain. The new gods are calling to you! And he rockets into the sky. Shazam, God of gods! With Shazam and Flash gone, Cyborg asks Wonder Woman what they should do next, but they are interrupted by Darkseid's children. Do not worry about them. Father is dead, and so are you! Back with Lex Luthor, he wakes up attached to a bunch of machines with the ceiling opening up. They explain that if he is truly the hero that he claims, his test is now, as the Omega Effect returns to the planet. It hits Lex Luthor with the full force of the Omega Effect, and he begins to feel this new power entering his body, and he declares...
I think I've lost everybody again, so I'm going to leave it go for a minute or two, guys, because there may be a buffing issue, but as you're probably watching this back later on, you don't get any buffing. And if you do get any buffing, I can sort that out. Don't worry about that. But if you do get buffing during this video, guys, definitely let me know in the comment section once you've come back. Because then I can know I'm doing it and I can sort it out, because I'm not watching a live like I normally do. As I think that's buffing too much.
But he clarifies, no one can know we're together if Granny and the Furies find out. But Barda stops him and gives him a passionate kiss, which makes even Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor uncomfortable. Barda then asks Darkseid's children why they fight. Darkseid is dead, and they state that while he is dead, they live on, and they will do this for him, for Calabec! And once they finish here, they will find the Anti-Monitor and finish him as well. Back on the Rock of Eternity, Metron, the new god that the Justice League left there chained up, has freed himself, and he's wandering through the halls. Without his chair of knowledge, which Batman took, he can't get out of this mystical place. And as he walks through, the woman in the mirror, someone who speaks to Billy Batson, sees him and asks him if he traded the safety of the universe for his own soul. Because if Mobius, also known as the Anti-Monitor, gets his chair back, the universe is doomed. He smashes the mirror, demanding quiet. Over with Wonder Woman, she explains her plan. She is guessing that the crime syndicate from Earth 3 might know what is going on. Superwoman, Ultraman, and Owlman have been on this Earth ever since they attempted to invade and defeated the Justice League, only to be defeated by Lex Luthor. This was an event known as Forever Evil, but Wonder Woman thinks that they may know what the Anti-Monitor is doing because they fled their world as he destroyed it. Steve Trevor explains that this is a problem, though, because the remaining members of the crime syndicate are being held by Argus as level 0 inmates. No one, not even the Justice League, can see them. Mr. Miracle stops him right there. He can get Wonder Woman and the remaining members of the League into the secure location. So Wonder Woman decides
colors
that
to
if they
use.
can't reach the Justice League, she'll go get them herself. So they jump through Cyborg's boom tube, and Steve Trevor asks Diana why she's worried. He's never seen her worried. And she explains that because an Amazon started all of this. An Amazon that she has never seen, and nor has she even heard of. One that carried a Darkseid's baby and used it to start this war. This caused the League to split apart and turn into gods. She doesn't worry often, but she also doesn't get cold often. And today, she is both. And that's when Superman, the god of strength, appears behind them and lifts Steve Trevor up. Am I interrupting? Meanwhile, Batman, the god of knowledge, is looking for the Joker. Just as the Anti-Monitor finishes whatever he's doing with an explosion, the Flash is trying to outrun death. As the ball of power leaves the Anti-Monitor, Shazam is coping with his new powers. Once the ball grows closer to Grail, the daughter of the Amazon Diana...
I've just got a request on Instagram for flames around this here, so
Back at Grail, she reaches out for the ball. The anti-life equation is accepting his role as
that's
the
kind of
god of
interesting.
life. And as all of this is happening, Grail becomes
Could do that in the next
goddess
picture.
of the anti-life. Next up, Darkseid War Act 3. Things are really heating up, and we will continue to bring you the tie-ins and stories related to this. But if you are lost, which you probably are if you just joined us this week, click now for the Darkseid War playlist and learn everything. All must be uncovered.
It was really overwhelming. We literally found the things that got us out of there.
Actually go away.
Can Flash still outrun death?
Pre-kings.
When he is death? Welcome to the Complete Story Series. We take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then review the dramatic that to you. All alterations to the panel's text.
Very like a bit flames, like flame colours in the wing somewhere.
Anti-Monitor turned Barry Allen into the host of the Black Race,
Somewhere.
the entity of death.
Let's do this first, though.
Killing Darkseid over. What's next? Barry stares down at his hands with everyone looking at him. Did I just kill Darkseid? Mr. Miracle looks at him. No, the Black Racer did, Flash, not you. The Black Racer is Darkseid's ultimate weapon, but it needed to be bound to a host. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing, Mr. Miracle? Because the previous hosts are all. I'm not them. I don't want to escape death. I want to control it! A ghost of someone close to Barry then appears, and he stops. Who? That's the moment that Barry uses to break free from the Black Racer, separating himself from death, and he runs as fast as he can to get away from it. The Black Racer gets hot on his trail, keeping himself within inches of Barry. You are wrong. Everything that has ever lived has exactly the same thought. They are no longer living. You must accept me. No! The Flash shouts, running as fast as he can. Faster than the fastest man alive has ever run. How can the Flash conquer death if even Darkseid couldn't? Death is different to Barry because death was what created the Flash. It killed his mother, which drove him to become the Flash. It means something to him. At that moment, the Black Racer catches up and throws the Flash to the ground, where he can see himself in front of his mother's tombstone. And then death appears before him. Take my hand, Barry. Unless you accept death, the entire universe as you know it will end. Look now and tell me what you see. The Flash looks over what appears to be Central City, and then he shows Barry life. Then Barry sees himself running after the Black Racer as he approaches the Innocents to kill them. And he stops and he destroys death. Then all of the people around him die, decaying in front of him. This is the future, Barry. Do you see it? You are not a man. Not anymore. You are a god. And Barry sat down, allowing the tears to flow from his eyes. Everyone I've ever known, ever fought for will die.
This is the point where I start to get
yes, life is
sketchy,
and precious and beautiful because of this. The Black Racer must run. It has to happen for the universe to continue, or it will break, and all life will end. You must take one life, Barry, or there will be no lives to save. He then appears in front of Iris. I thought of you, Iris. How did I think of you? She turns around surprised. Flash? There's no way to explain this, Iris. I've become the Black Racer, the Grim Reaper. I'm the one that people will see just before they die. She walks over and wipes a tear from his face.
I should be doing it that way.
Flash. We can deal with this together.
Yep.
And then something wakes up in the Flash.
Told ya.
Iris.
Did it again.
That is why I came for you. He then fills with death and becomes the Black Racer again, taking a swipe at Iris. One life. so the universe can survive. But just as he's about to kill her, he breaks free. No! You still refuse after I've explained it to you. You'd rather the universe end than take one life? Yes, but I must have a tether. Very well, then if this is your choice, perhaps I could use Daniel West instead. Or maybe Gorilla Grodd. Do you think that he would enjoy wielding such power? Defeated, the Flash thinks again. One life? Yes! Okay, you got it. I'm gonna kill the Black Racer. What? The Flash then wields the Black Racer's sight. This is your weapon, so I'm thinking it can kill you. No, you can't do that! The Flash chases the Black Racer until he catches up to a terrified Black Racer and he kills him. Finally triumphant, the Flash runs to the salt flats, where he realizes he didn't stop anything. He just released death because it no longer has a tether. He then watches as the entire universe dies. That's when the Flash realizes what he has to do.
Buffering, it's because I'm using the computer in the background. I'm not going to use any of the computer now.
It's already ended. It ended a long time ago, back in actual reality. The Flash stands before the Justice League still. All of this has happened in his mind in the last couple of seconds. The Speed Force and the power of death combined. I am the Black Racer, now and
It's because I was trying to open up Critter at the same time.
Tie into the Dark Side War. Join us next week when we cover
Which I'll leave now.
Superheroes as they become a god.
As soon as I can find a picture of a wing, I bet
you
you got wings down. I think. Hopefully I have. What do you think?
Right here.
I would love something delicious.
So would I. Shut up.
With reduced sugar.
Satisfied.
Something for you. Buy a Total Split Pot has everything you want, nothing you don't. Buy a Total Split Pot, rich in protein, reduced sugar.
Shut up.
Batman
Roberts.
being a god. How will this change things for Gotham? Welcome to the Complete Story Series. We take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into the decimal bites to help you understand. Then we reduce humanity back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. During the Dark Side War, Act 1, Batman took the Mobius chair, turning him into the God of Knowledge. If you want to know how that happened, click the video right now. But let's explore how this changes him. Batman sits in his chair over Jim Gordon, looking down on him while they are both standing on the roof of the GCPD. Jim, why do you use the bat signal? It's a relic of the past. We don't need it anymore. But like shining it one last time before we melted it down into scrap. By your tone, I can tell that you are not embracing my change. Do not fear, as your concerns are unwarranted. What I have since you've been in that damn chair is an overworked justice system. We can't hold the amount of perps you're bringing in. There is no legislation for what people might do. There is no might. Like the man who sat in this chair before me, I can see what was and what is. I am plugged into people's thoughts throughout this city, and I am able to alter the timeline to prevent actions from occurring. Alter it, huh? Make all the damn boo-boos all better? I'm saving lives by striking preemptively, and that's all that matters. Does your chair come from a world where there's no more crime, no more murder, no more wars? It doesn't. Then you're kidding yourself into thinking that change is going to come. But at that moment, Batman gets a ping from his chair.
Oh, we should stop doing that.
He appears in front of a car full of individuals with weapons ready to do some really bad things. And then, boom! He warps them all.
Flame to the bottom of the wings.
Says the GCPD can't do anything about people that haven't actually committed a crime.
I know what you mean, but I don't know how to do that.
And he leaves them there. Because as he puts it, it's plenty of time for them to rethink their actions as they wait for the Navy ship to draw near. Then, boom!
Maybe like
He
a
walks
little
back
bit
to
yellow.
Gotham, where he appears in front of a man that was intending to possibly kill his ex-wife.
With
He then warps him to the island of the Amazon
that
to
as
get
well.
a proper punishment for a man that enjoys beating on
Kind of
women.
like
Then, Batman decides that it's time to help himself, and he boom tubes to the moment that his parents died. He tries to catch the bullet, but he can't change the past, only watch it. He then stares at Joe Chill, the man that murdered his parents, and demands that the chair bring him to Joe Chill right now. He boom tubes into Joe Chill's cell, and he knocks out his cellmate before cornering Joe Chill against the wall. Joe tries to call for the guards, but Batman puts up a sight and sound shield, preventing anyone from hearing what's going on. He demands to know what it's like living behind bars. Does he feel that he deserves better? Does he feel that he is beyond this? He then
I know what you're
goes
saying
to
from that
Joe
picture
to
you
the
sent
alley
me.
Where he killed the Waynes, and Joe tells him, "Yeah, I did it. I killed those blue bloods right here in this alley 20 years ago." That night, I had the power of life and death, and I'm probably that little boy's boogeyman right now. I'll bet you were. As a matter of fact, I'm sure of it, Batman tells him. Yeah, waking up screaming for his mommy and his daddy, seeing their eyes roll white as they gurgled on their guts. So Batman gets into Joe Chill's face. I'm particularly interested in the bodies from this night. Oh, why's that? Because I'm Bruce Wayne, he shouts, removing his mask. Not possible. It can't be. Little boys grow up. I should have killed you that night. Your first words is that you should have fired a gun into a child's face at point blank range. Hearing you say that makes me want to blast you with an energy blast from this chair. But I have a better idea. What if I spread rumors around this prison? Just a few words whispered into the heads of the prisoners. Joe Chill created the Batman. Please, you can't. You won't. What do you think the odds of you screaming for your mommy and daddy when the big bad wolves come knocking? What kind of monster are you? I'm not a monster, Joseph. I'm your boogeyman. For God's sake, where is everyone? Batman reaches down and he grabs Joe Chill by the face. Forget everything that we spoke about. You don't know who Batman is and you never will. Then, boom! Batman is gone. And Joe Chill is exhausted and has no idea what has just happened. Batman went back to the Batcave where Alfred asked him to please step off the chair and eat something. But Batman explained that his chair provides. He has no need for sleep or food any longer. Alfred comments on the fact that Bruce is bleeding, and it might be time to get off and actually eat and drink like a normal human. But Bruce explains that he is bleeding because the chair is pushing back. He doesn't like someone who's as proactive as he is. But this chair, it's a gift. But Alfred interrupts him. It's a curse that is enticing you, sir. I can get off at any time I want, Alfred. Is that so, sir? So Batman tries, but he finds that it isn't that easy. The chair won't just let him walk away, so he stops trying. Enough. If remaining in this chair allows me to be the perfect Batman 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so be it. An absolute Batman dealing absolute justice. And thanks to this chair, I will be able to narrow my focus from the many to the one. And that is Batman's tie-in issue to the Dark Side War. What about the other guys? Superman, Shazam, Green Lantern, Lex Luthor, The Flash. Make sure you check out every Saturday until we complete this tie-in series, and you'll find out about all of those heroes. I'm Eddie the Comic Historian, and don't forget to check out the other videos on the screen right now. You just might like those.
That Saturday is already open, so we'll have that one in a moment. We'll have the rest in a moment. Which is your favourite character, guys, from the Dark Universe?
Where do we begin?
That's another bloody advert. I can't be asked to get up this time. I'm in the zone.
Back to your odyssey, across the mountains and the seas. Remember, the face of face journeys with you.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Out now on PS4 and Xbox One.
I don't care, because I'm not getting it.
Would you turn down godhood? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues, and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. During the Dark Side War, Act 1, the Green Lantern was off with Batman exploring the multiverse and trying to find answers. But with the death of Darkseid, something changed at Oa. The Mother Box stands in front of John Stewart. Will you be my god? John puts out his last distress call as the parademons stomp him into the ground. Hal,
Yeah, I can do fire coming from the base of the wings.
this is me dying.
Unless I've already answered that
Here's
question,
my
I'm not
final
sure.
message. The Mother Box grows even closer. I ask again, Green Lantern John Stewart, will you be my god? As Hal grows closer,
I'll really
to
get
Oa,
into
he
something
got
I
John's last message. After
lose
Darkseid
myself
died,
a little
the
bit.
parademons attacked Oa. Millions of them. The Green Lantern Corps fought hard, but for every parademon they dropped, 10 more appeared, and the Green Lanterns were overwhelmed. Eventually, the parademons made their way to the central power battery. They took one of the Mother Boxes and put it into the battery, joining the source of our power with the source of their power. They then took each of the defeated Green Lanterns one by one, and they brought them to the battery to ask if they would enter and become God. But we refused. Every Green Lantern told them that we lived as lanterns and we died as lanterns. So they killed us and they turned us into parademons. That's why I left you this message, to let you know that you are the last of us now, Hal. And you'll come back, and you'll fight, and you'll break. And when they ask you, remember who you are. Hal arrived and he began fighting against the parademons, his former friends. So while he removes them as threats non-lethally, he asks the ring, what is a mother box? The ring explains that mother boxes access energy from the source, allowing them all omni knowledge and the ability to understand everything and anything. They also provide telepathy, teleportation, energy manipulation, and energy transference. They also tie themselves to users and are loyal to them. Like
I'm going to let that dry a second, guys. Bear with me. I'm just going to check my sun a second. But let me know what you think of that so far. Think another thing, what colours we can have here, and what colours where the flames really should be. Bear with me. I'll be right back.
Hal fights as many of the parademons as he can, but it's a pointless endeavor. But it does give him time to remember the loss of his own father. He lost his dad in a plane crash, and he always wondered, why would God allow this? Why would God kill his dad? Why would God just watch him die? But his father's friend explained that Hal was right. God did watch him die because God's got no choice but to watch. He had to let it happen because there's one thing that makes God different from everyone. God doesn't have free will. Everything God does is a necessity, and it has to be. His father's friend explains that we don't go to church to worship God. God comes to church to worship us because we get to choose what we do. So the parademons finally beat Hal Jordan and carried him to the mother.
Okay, guys, my son, he's not very well at the moment, so I'm going to make a quick drink for me and him.
We've all been trained not to exceed our authority. I was never
Like dark blue jeans, yeah, that's cool. I might grab my pencils as well in a moment, guys, but listen to the playlist in the background. Have a good old listen with that. Enjoy that second while I think what colours I need for this one and where I'm going to be putting them. And I'll be doing some more detail on the wings like I've done here. But definitely, guys, let me know what you think and keep tuned because I'll be right back. I'm just making a quick drink for me and my son a
The
moment.
first thing he does is ask the mother ring. Can he return things to the way they were?
I'm not
before
far
he
away,
died?
so I can
The
still
mother ring
see those
replied,
comments.
You are now a
So I
god,
will
Hal
chat
Jordan.
while I'm
Say
making
the
this
word.
drink, guys.
For instance, there are 7,200 Green Lanterns, 10 Guardians, and 4 Parademons on the planet, and 1 god. The ring explains that he is no longer bound by time and space. He is light. He is everywhere. Hal Jordan then falls to his knees. I don't know what to do. He remembers back to the night in the church with his friend's father, and he appears there. He actually arrives at that time, and he hears the speech again.
Well, like I said, I'm still here, guys. I'm just making a drink.
God has no free will. He thinks on this. No free will.
And I'll take another picture for Instagram, guys. Again, my name is Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games. Same name, different place here on YouTube every day. Occasionally over on occasionally on Mixer. Did a gameplay yesterday, and Instagram as well, guys. Same name, different place. That's Blut084. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, guys. And if you're tuning back, thank you very much for joining me. And keep watching it till the end, because we're going to be trying to finish this one off today. I've already taken a picture of this for Critter, so I will be taking this over to my Critter file and seeing if I can do anything over there digitally, as I normally do. If you haven't already checked out my digital drawings, guys, they are in the events, live events drawing, or drawing live events playlist. And I have done in the very last year, I think, beginning of my first career on YouTube, guys, when I had my first camera. So bear with me on that one there. But that is the creation station, and when I did my first challenge as well. Oh, then that is Nicole. I'm doing a few drawings and sketches for her, for a few designs. I'll let her tell you a little bit more. But again, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll be right back. Listen to the playlist in the background. We've got Batman, or the DC Universe, a dark DC Universe, as this month is all about dark, as it's Dark Month. This week is all about wings as well, guys, so keep tuned if you want to see some more wings and other things.
All alterations to the panels, text, and images are within copyright bombs, and all art is owned by the respective companies. Darkseid has fallen, and with his death, the power of various gods has been granted to members of the Justice League. We have various videos of each of them. The death of Darkseid itself is contained in the video Darkseid War Act 1. But as Darkseid died, Billy's connection to the gods that granted him Shazam's powers blinked, and new gods moved in. He now stands in a crater in the middle of Philadelphia, stunned as new beings are trying to speak in his head, trying to command him, tell him where to go. But one voice breaks through, the wizard that granted Billy his powers originally. Batson, listen to me. The old pantheon is gone.
Just see your post there, Nicole. Thank you very much for doing that.
I tried to help you.
Everybody's joining in from the coast. How are you there? How are you doing?
One, Zonuz. If you set him free, he'll salvage the universe. Billy is very confused, and he looks at his hands and he realizes that one of them is on fire. And one of the gods inside of his head tells him, "This is my gift to the power of Shazam." The gods continue to argue with him, Shazam, about the strength
Can't
of
wait for that film to come
what's
out.
it get? Who's trying to hurt him? So as confused as he's ever been, Billy leaps into the air to fly away, and he can't. He hits the ground confused even further, and one of the other gods tells him the powers of Shazam have been redefined. He tells all of the voices to shut up. He can't think. And they tell him that if he wants them to shut up, just say the word. So he shouts, "Shut!" and he's gone in a bolt of lightning. He appears in a garden, and a voice tells him that he has reached the source, where all things come in return. The goddess Annabelle steps forward and explains. While the wizard grants Billy the title of Shazam, it is the gods that the deal is struck with, and Annabelle is one of the new pantheon that makes up Shazam. The shockwave from Darkseid to Death disrupted the connection to the gods, and in a desperate attempt to not leave Shazam powerless, the wizard struck new deals with new gods. But before he could finish, Billy asks, who is Zanuz? He is something terrible, an ancient and putrid force, the first to wield the Torment Sanction, and the original god of evil. When he was finally defeated, he was sent back to the source as all gods are, but he hopes to use the power of Shazam to escape from the source once again. While you are our boy, Billy, and unable to withstand him, we are gods, and we hope to help you. Billy then vanishes, and he stands in front of Savah, the dancer of destruction, and the god that grants Billy his strength now. Savah explains that the gods intercepted Billy mid-lightning crack, and when he goes back, he'll be right in the middle of the fight with the wizard and Zanuz. They need to prepare him for his return. The god Savah calls him weak, so Billy snaps at him, and this impresses Savah. So he sends Billy to his next goddess. Her name is 8, the goddess of impulse, and she explains that he needs to keep Zanuz from getting the staff. If he can win. But if Zanuz gets the staff, all hope is lost. Then, in another crack, Billy is at the next god, Homener, the god of fire, art, and death. Billy asks if he's going to tell him what he needs to do also, but the god refuses and tells him that he'll tell him what Billy is. Shazam is a vessel for the might of the gods. Billy is lucky to be that vessel, but he is not essential. They are only with him until he fails, and he forfeits his gifts. But Billy tells him, really? A vessel? That's what we're going to go with? You better rethink what I am. And in a crack, he goes to the next god. But there is no next god. It is the wizard battling against Zanuz. Zanuz demands the staff, but the wizard gives him a defining no.
Zanuz.
And then he takes a massive blast, throws Zanuz
Shazam!
into the ground. Billy sees him and he asks if he's okay, but the wizard tells him not to concern himself with him. Don't let Zanuz take the staff. Stop him. Billy looks up at Zanuz and asks, who is that? But Zanuz yells out, I am Zanuz, but like my son, I chose a different name. Yuga Khan, father of Darkseid. He holds the staff up and declares that he has the power of 4 gods to bolster his own. And with this might, he'll punch a hole through the source itself to reclaim his son's
There goes the table. Right, I'm back. And
And
hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves so far.
Darkseid? Oh my god, it's not over.
We don't need that one anymore. We
And
need...
Yuga Khan hits him with the power of the staff and then begins to fly towards the hole in the sword. But that's when behind him he hears a young boy. You're not going anywhere. You don't know the first thing about Shazam! Your plan was over before it started. And then Yuga takes a swing at Shazam. So Shazam dodges it. He then punches the sword as Yuga throws it down on him. And then, with the lightning of Shazam, he punches it with his other fist, breaking the sword to pieces. Shazam then leaps into the beast of a god, and he shouts, Shazam! Bringing his magical lightning to the ground. He then turns back to Billy, but Yuga is defeated, and the wizard steps forward. He thanks Billy for saving him and getting the staff back, and then explains that the 5th god is him. The wizard himself is Billy's lightning. And the 6th god, to complete Shazam's powers, is Yuga Khan. His might will be enslaved for all of eternity as a penance for the eternity of sin. Then they walk towards the portal together, and Billy tells the wizard, "So old gods, new tricks? What's next for Magic's champion?"
Sure, then with the actual film, maybe I'll take my son to, because lately Marvel and DC have had a trend going that they want to get the 18 rating, so it's like, wow, that's really good for kids that want to watch their favourite heroes.
Or he's going to go back to normal at the end of Dark Side War. Don't forget to check out our Dark Side War videos to follow along with this exciting event. I'll see you guys next time right here.
Puts parents in a tricky position as well, I think. Because obviously you want to let your kid watch the film because you've watched it yourself, or you want to watch it yourself, and you think, oh, it'd be a good experience to take your children to. But like I said, all the Marvel and DC of late have been starting on this. Oh, we want to get an 18 rating. Well, what's the point in that? Why do you need swearing in it? Why do you need all this blood curdling death when it's a bloody cartoon based on a comic book? I get why Deadpool was, because he's all about swearing and making these adult jokes, but
the Justice League has
they that dumbed down.
Drake, how will it change you?
And it doesn't really matter too much, I don't find, in the Deadpool films.
Welcome to the complete story
But
series. We take trade paperbacks and single
as
issues
for
and
Venom,
download
I think they made a
rights to help
big
you
mistake
understand.
making
Then
it
we read
15.
dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are
Actually, no, saying that, he is quite dark, but
this takes place
I was looking forward to watching that in the cinema, but
can't
do that with a 12-year-old.
And this happens. If you want to know more about the actual Dark Side War, make sure you click our playlist down below. Back in Metropolis, people are beginning to wonder where
people in the cinema know me, and they may possibly let me get in, but
he hits the alien hard, sending it
depends what day it is.
The creature lands in the Daily Planet, taking
Because
out a
obviously
wall as Superman lands on his chest.
Only some of them, that word knows me.
And he punches the suit of armor and rips the alien out. He then puts him down. You are not worthy to fight.
I was really looking forward to watching Venom though, but what I have heard is they got it wrong. They kind of did an Amazing Spider-Man to it.
I'm hungry. He goes to Melvin's diner where he super speeds to the counter and he demands apple pie. The diner owner Melvin walks over and he tries to make conversation with Superman. You know, I don't know about this new look, Superman. Remember when I shaved my beard? The cops arrested me for opening my own diner. They didn't know it was me. You feel me? Superman glares at him. Why would I? I'm not like you. I didn't mean anything by it. I thought, I said give me pie! Superman shouts, slamming his fist on the counter. But as the alien left the planet, he's released a black goo, and it's begun spreading through the city. So Jimmy Olsen rides his bike to the diner where he walks in and he asks Superman, what's wrong with him? Superman half ignores Jimmy. I'm fine, Jimmy. Better than fine. Something's wrong with you. So Superman throws Jimmy out the window. Outside, the goo gets closer and closer to Jimmy.
Dark blue jeans. That'd be that then.
Superman help.
You like jeans, didn't you?
Superman, Metropolis needs you. Why should I care about Metropolis? I've been recharged by the most powerful solar energy in existence, and it's given me clarity, Jimmy. No matter what happens here, I'm not human. It does matter. I'm your friend, and I can help. Superman steps outside on that note. Help, help, help. That's all I hear. Why can't you help yourselves? Do you know how much time I've wasted saving this planet, only to have to do it again a few days later? It's an endless cycle, one that I finally have broken. What happened to you? I know the real you is still in there. You came to this diner because of Glenda. She swirled her froth into your coffee and shapes it like the symbol on your chest. You came here because of Melvin, because he treats you like every other customer in the diner. He makes you feel normal. I'm not normal, Jimmy. As the goo begins to take Jimmy, he tells Superman, you hear more than the cry for help. You also hear our joyous laughter. You hear our adoration for you. In our hearts, you hear our love for you. Human or not, it doesn't matter as long as you're here. You'll never be alone. Superman lifts off the ground, looking at the goop taking over Metropolis. And he cocks his head as he considers what Jimmy just said. He lets the goop take the city.
Okay, right. Let's get rid of those there.
Land on his shoulder, except for you. When the pigeon leaves, he begs it to stay. At that moment, the real Superman pokes through this god of strength, and he realizes he doesn't want to be alone. He floats over the city, and using his freeze breath, he freezes all of the black goo in the city, and then he punches it, freeing all of Metropolis. Jimmy looks at Superman, the god of strength, and he realizes his friend is still in there. And realizing that he needs help, Superman leaves for space again. And our tale of the Dark Side War continues. If you want to get more information about what exactly is going on here, make sure you check out our Dark Side War playlist. And if you want to keep up to date with the storyline, then subscribe to the channel as we are bringing to you every Saturday as we get more issues of this.
Sorry about the
There will be a
playlist, guys.
gap,
It's
but we
buffing.
will bring you more. I'm Eddie the Comic Short, and I'll see you next time right here.
Yep, we'll get rid of that.
Lex Luthor is now the god of apocalypse, with Darkseid's old power. How will he cope with this?
Can you see the actual difference when I've taken away all the previous shading now?
From
the pencil? I need a paintbrush to get rid of that.
All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by the respective companies. This is the Lex Luthor tie-in for Darkseid War, which takes place right after he was granted his powers of Darkseid and he became the new god of apocalypse. If you want to get more on that story, check out our Darkseid War playlist.
Using this to get rid of all the
Long live Lex Luthor. A long time ago,
rub out
Lex
lines.
fell into a well and was all alone at the bottom. He called out for help. But only his father came to him and explained that he brought Lex on this trip to teach him how to be a man. Only the weak ask for help.
I'm tempted to do a painting as well sometime soon, guys. What do you think of that?
After his transformation, our door leads Lex to a hill to show him.
It's the same process, it's just instead of taking it to Critter, I paint it
She shows
instead.
him the now free people who have lived their entire lives under the oppressive thumb of Darkseid as slaves.
And I don't generally ink it, I just do a
So what
pencil.
exactly is it you want me to do? She explains that while Darkseid is dead, there are still those that enforce his rule. With the power of Omega running through Lex's veins, they will free as many as they can. While she doesn't believe in his power, there are many who will. So Lex turns to her. Then why do I need you if the rest of them will follow me? He charges up some of his new Omega powers and our for a shout.
I'm just literally getting rid of all the pencil now. Bear with me.
Stay evil.
Lemon playlist. Too much going on. Schadenfreude.
He explodes.
Wonder what's making it do that.
Oh, sorry.
Am I buffing, guys? Because my son's playing his games in his room, so if I am, I'll just switch something else off.
With a fire pit. It tells him. He is a very angry man. You have no idea. She tells him to let go of his anger, that she can help him if he just lets go. She explains that reaching out for help isn't a sign of weakness. For a man like him,
My table is absolutely covered now in
Lex thinks back to
rubbing
the
shavings.
days of Superman,
Lovely
where
jubbly.
his plane was crash landing and Superman was offering his help. Superman flew next to him, offering his hand in aid, but Lex refused.
I'm good, thank
He
you.
let go of the plane, plummeting to the waters down below.
I know what that means.
He will never need help. He tells Ardora, only the weak need help. She tells him to reach out before it's too late, but he begins to fall into the fire, telling her he can't. He can't do it. Even with him telling her that, she reaches down for him and she begins to fall into the pits with him. Let go of your past, Lex. Let go of all the anger. She falls in with him and they both begin to fall towards the fires down below.
I'm gonna go with the skin tone again.
Why?
Do you want to give him a skin
You can't
tone?
believe in hope, Lex. Then with those
Or do we leave him white?
in Lex's ears, he gains control of the Omega power inside of him and he flies the two of them out of the pit. He lands and he asks her how she did that. She explains she didn't. He needed to open himself up to her. And to it.
So it's the mask, doesn't
The power
stay
of the
white.
Omega doesn't judge him. It simply
That
wants
is a
him to
mask,
believe
it's not his
who he is.
face.
The first step to tearing down the walls was accepting her help. Gods need not be alone. I will stand beside you, Lex Luthor. So will your army. He looks up to see every parademon looking down on him, ready to do whatever
Got some
he
colours
needs.
as well for this
And that is Lex Luthor's tie
cross
into the
down
Dark
here.
Side War. Now, we need to wait for Act 3 to complete before we can do any
about
more of this story. I hope you
things
guys
like
enjoyed it thus far, and I can't wait to see where this is going to go.
I can't stand the buffering on that. I know, yeah.
Reflecting here might just be the breakthrough we need.
Hyper.
What's going on?
Starlink.
This is the conclusion to the Dark Side War, and a lot has happened. I'll give you a fast rundown, but I recommend watching the playlist down below. The Anti-Monitor fought against Darkseid using the power of the gods. He managed
we're
to
buffing
kill
again.
Darkseid. This upset the
Matthew,
universe.
what game are you playing, mate?
Became the new gods of the universe in their own rights.
You might well have to play an
God of
offline
death,
game for a
Batman,
minute.
God of knowledge. Superman, God of strength. Lex Luthor, God of apocalypse. Shazam, God of gods. Hal Jordan was concerned over the actions that Batman was going to take in Gotham City as the God of knowledge. He became this god when he took a chair from the new god Metron, a chair that contains
Sometimes
the
gonna say
knowledge
God.
of the entire universe, past and present. Batman tells him, "I'm never leaving this chair." And Hal asks him, "How did you know I was going to ask that?" "I could read your mind, Jordan. This chair is equipped you with the knowledge needed to save Gotham." So why did
There's
Batman
a
find
pencil.
you here?
I can get rid of this.
What is this place? This is where the Joker. Something's wrong.
Ow.
Superman. He's in trouble. He is the trouble. Meanwhile, over with Wonder Woman, she is battling against Superman, the god of strength, ever since he was overpowered by the fire pits of Apocalypse. He blasts her into a car, demanding that she fight him properly. She refuses, putting her sword away, and then she runs at him, jumping over him, getting her lasso around him. "You need my help, my patience,
Not gonna
my love."
stay, Pink.
"No, I don't!" While this is happening, Cyborg, Jessica Cruz, and Mr. Miracle are preparing to break into Belle Reeve.
Although I could make his skin a little bit raw,
The
thinking
evil
about it.
versions of the Justice League from Earth 3. They've been confined to Belle Reeve ever since they were stopped during the Forever Evil event. The crime syndicate fought the Anti-Monitor before, and the Justice League was hoping that they could help them defeat this threat. So while Mr. Miracle's wife, Barda, is
Let's give, before I go any further, let's give everybody a
what does the Anti-Monitor want? Why
zoom in.
And Ultraman tells him, "Kill every last one of us." Elsewhere, Grail, the woman who started everything,
Watch, I don't think anybody wants that.
Amazon is of the anti-life equation. She's devising her own plan, and she's going to need.
That's the point we've gotten to so far.
Jessica and Cyborg are trying to free Superwoman, when Jessica's ring begins to go crazy. You see, she isn't wielding a Green Lantern ring. She is wielding the power ring of Earth 3, the one that contains the soul of Voltham, and he has the ability to take control of its user, which he
That's a
does,
slight
taking
pink
over Jessica
colour.
Cruz's body,
A bit
trapping
darker
her
in the
soul within the
skin
ring.
area there.
Cyborg
You see what I mean? It looks alright for being pink.
Back with Wonder Woman, she asks Superman, "Who are you?" while holding him down with the lasso of truth. "I'm Superman. Who
That's
are
our
you?"
Dark
"I'm
Angel.
Clark Kent," he says, fighting against the power. At that moment, Batman and the Green Lantern arrive, and Wonder Woman informs them that Superman is beginning to remember himself. But Batman tells them the soul is breaking down from that fire pit energy. He may be himself again, but he's far from fine. He's dying. Back at Belle Reeve, Power Ring blasts the cell door open, freeing Superwoman, and she tells him, "Shh," as she holds her pregnant belly. The baby is trying to sleep, but Cyborg isn't about to let Power Ring take over Jessica Cruz, so he tries to hack into the ring, only to have it backfire, and it begins to hack into his own brain. It traps Victor Stone inside of the ring alongside Jessica Cruz, allowing Grid, another member of the crime syndicate, to take over his body again. Then the wall explodes, with Owlman telling them that they need the Justice League if they're going to stop this threat, because the worst is still yet to come. After the Anti-Monitor defeated Darkseid, he sealed himself in a cocoon to separate himself from the anti-life equation. That's how Grail got her hands on the anti-life equation, turning himself back into the being that he was before all of this. Mobius, the original owner of the chair of knowledge that Batman is currently sitting on. And Mobius wants his chair. Without much hesitation, Superman delivers the kryptonite to Ultraman, allowing him to power back up. The crime syndicate has no intention
I don't know
of
if you can
saving
see
this.
that.
They don't care. They want revenge against Mobius for destroying their Earth. Owlman agrees that at the end of this, they'll give back Jessica Cruz Cyborg, as the two individuals are now fully controlled by Power Ring and Grid, but they have to win this battle. They head off, saving individuals caught in the blast of the anti-life equation explosions that Mobius can control.
That's what we did last week.
To attack the citizens.
Hey-de-dee-dee.
Meanwhile, Hal Jordan and Power Ring begin to open fire with their constructs, because it's decided if Mobius gets in his chair, everyone is going to have some real problems soon. Luckily, Hal has already thought about asking for help, and the Green Lantern Corps
Okay,
arrives,
right.
blasting Mobius. He is in a pushover, though, as he causes another explosion, wiping out
Before
dozens of Green Lanterns.
I go and use a
Side by
Copic
side
marker,
with Hal.
I
They
can
keep
test
flying
out the
to Hal.
colours
That's when Superwoman and Wonder Woman throw their lassos
in
up
pencil,
Mobius,
because
and
all
they
pencil
have to
can get
hold
rubbed
him
out.
down. While this is going on, Grail returns, holding the anti-life equation itself, as she took it when the Anti-Monitor separated from it, becoming Mobius again. And she grabs Steve Trevor, who is currently at the battlefield. Back with the fight, though, Ultraman and Superman fly in, slamming Mobius with everything they have as the Amazons were thrown aside. But Mobius grabs Ultraman, burying his hands into his chest. Ultraman calls out for help from Flash, god of death, standing nearby. But Flash tells him, "I can't stop death. I can't even move." And Ultraman turns into dust as he dies. Mobius tells everyone, that was satisfying. Who's next? Behind everyone, there is a boom! As a boom tube is opened, and there stands Lex Luthor, the new Darkseid, the god of Apocalypse, with his army of parademons. Back with Wonder Woman, she looks over at a pregnant
Kinda like
Superwoman,
that.
and Superwoman informs Diana that the baby
Is that what you mean by flames?
Meanwhile, the Green Lanterns and Power Ring are tearing apart the dark creatures, attacking everyone, and Jessica Cruz is trying to call out for help from inside the ring that she is trapped in, but no one can hear her. Inside of this ring is every soul that Voltrum has consumed. The spirits that Voltrum keeps in there tell her that she can never leave. He'll punish us when he comes back.
Once I put ink on there, I can't get rid of it. Do you mean something like that?
Everyone, she needs to run for the power battery, and looking up, she sees a light. Her escape from this place. While in a separate location where Grail has brought Steve Trevor, she walks forward, kissing him, transferring the anti-life equation into him. Jessica runs and runs with the spirits of both of them trapped, trying to hold her
Not sure if
back.
I should do this in pencil.
The central battery, and it is there that she sees the voice calling out to her.
Because
Mr. Stone, Cyborg Soul.
I haven't got a
Wonder
test
Woman
page.
tells the rest of the class
I don't want to
that
use
they
my
need to
book
move
because
Superwoman
I've got no.
away from
I
Mobius
don't
because
like
she's
using a
giving
book.
her an owl
Don't like
to
using a
help
page
her get
for
out of the
testing
entire
because
point of
then I've lost a
before
page.
this. Meanwhile,
I know it's stupid because I've got like fucking hundreds of them, but
and Wonder Woman asks what's going on as Batman floats over in his chair to tell her that he knows. The chair knows. That's why Mobius wants it back, to learn what the secret weapon that Owlman is referring to is. It's the baby. On that note, Power Ring blasts both Batman and Wonder Woman away, and Owlman kneels down to Superwoman, telling her that he needs the baby. Mobius and Lex continue to slug it out. Buildings falling down all around them, destruction all over. But Mobius then begins to use his demon creatures to attack Lex directly for him. Seeing everything failing, Mr.
had a
Miracle and
blender
Barda
pen as
try to
well,
come
but
up with a
don't.
plan, but Barda knows what she has to do. She tells Scott that she loves him, and then boom tubes away. Back in the fight, Superman runs into the battle, full of the fire pit energy that is tearing him apart. But he has a better idea than trying to slug it with Mobius, and he expels all of the energy into Mobius's face. It slightly hurt Mobius, but not as much as it hurt Superman, and he falls. Then Mobius runs at Lex, while the Flash waits for death to arrive. Mobius shoves Lex into a car, crushing it, and then another boom tube goes off, and Grail returns with her mother and her new pet. Then there's a scream on the battlefield, and Hal Jordan can't help but ask Batman, what is it now? And then he tells him, it's a boy. As Superwoman is holding her child, Mobius looks over, and he sees Grail's pet, Steve Trevor, imbued with the power of the anti-life equation. Steve begs Diana to help him, and then he unleashes everything onto
Actually,
Mobius, killing
blend
him.
quite well.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Greg. Listen,
Ah,
it's becoming a little bit of a problem that you aren't using your real arms. Everybody knows you're using a fake arm so you can keep playing Toon Blast.
What are you talking about? Oh, excuse me, my burrito's getting cold.
Yeah, no, eat.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
All right. Bon appetit.
Leave it.
Everyone looks back in shock as the battlefield once again changes, with everyone about to fight Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor jumps in to fight against the League, the Corps, and Mr. Miracle with a chain around his neck, as Grail is still his master. He literally
This will give it more of a pop, though.
The anti-life equation is firing off randomly, hitting his friends as he begs Diana for help. She tells him to pull through it. She knows that he can. He's stronger than this. And then Grail jumps on Batman's chair. He tries to tell her, you've won. You killed your father. Why do you thirst for this power? And then Shazam throws her off of Batman's chair, and all of the Green Lanterns try
Again,
to
you can't
contain
see
her
what I
in
can
but
see.
She breaks out of the construct, shouting, I will not be caged. She's
Just a second. You can do. Yeah, I will Instagram you a picture.
As Wonder Woman is battling against her former lover, he's begging for her to put him down. He knows that he can't contain this power. Lex Luthor jumps in, grabbing the chain, telling Wonder Woman to do it. Kill this man! But Superman grabs him. No, Lex. The League never kills. You are naive, Superman. I have the power of the Omega effect. I will save this world myself. And as he shouts, there's an explosion of power. Superwoman, meanwhile, holds up her child and says the magical words. Mazas! Shazam backwards, and the magical word used by Alexander Luthor of Earth 3 to change into his version of Shazam, Mazas. And then in a stunning turn of events, the baby sucks the power of the Omega effect out of Lex Luthor, becoming a baby Darkseid, only to have his mother turn into dust as Steve Trevor blasts her with the anti-life equation, killing her. Grail walks over to the baby Darkseid and picks him up, holding him into the sky, stating the word Mazash, at the Flash. While the power of death is not absorbed, it did separate the Black Racer from the Flash, turning him back into Barry Allen finally. The Black Racer looks around confused, and then he realizes that he still needs to take someone's life, as he's no longer bound to the Flash, and he begins to chase after the Flash. Meanwhile, inside of Power Ring's ring, Victor Stone and Jessica Cruz are trying to figure out how to get out of the ring, and Vic has finally figured out how to hack the ring. With the fear that she's been suffering finally gone, Jessica tells Vic to send her back. She can fight her fears, and she takes over her body just in time to get into the Flash's path as the Black Racer is about to grab him and take his soul, allowing the Black Racer to take
maybe
instead of the Flash's.
red. A lot of people get it wrong. There's no actual red in fire. Unless it's chemical fire, there's no actual red in fire. It's all orange tones and yellow.
But Grail tells them, today, she is the God Killer. Today, all of your gods will die. And Superman asks her, gods? We were never gods.
You see what I mean?
The entire league and the entire core leap into fight against her. She jumps and dodges and then decides that she'll take the anti-life equation back, pointing her magic-stealing baby at Steve Trevor. But with the power of
a lot of people think they're
inside of the baby, Darkseid
nearly everybody thinks there's red in fire, but if you look at a fire, like an actual real fire, there's no actual red tone there. It's all red, just off red, a very orangey color, very dark orange to a light yellow, and then goes back to white. Because red is more, red is closer to a cold color than it is a warm color. It's the bridge between yellow. The bridge between yellow and blue. That's why it's considered a dangerous color. It's a red color. It's danger because it doesn't go anywhere. It fits nowhere. It's just its own color between the spectrums.
Then Owlman and Grid leave the battlefield as the only two members of the crime syndicate left. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman and Grail's own mother battle it out with Grail because Grail's mother didn't want this. While everyone else is fighting against Darkseid. At that time, it shouts out, Diana, the chair told me that the anti-life equation is causing all of this. We have to separate it from Darkseid to disperse all of his energy. So Diana and Grail's mother tied down Grail with their last.
I'm going to give you a quick zoom in a second.
Telling her, let go of your rage. Unleash your rage through me. So Grail opens her eyes, letting her own Omega beams fire through her mother and into Darkseid, separating him from the anti-life equation. The explosion is massive and everyone is thrown aside. The Darkseid is defeated. Steve apologizes to Diana for everything that he just did, and everyone looks at Jessica, their fallen friend. Hal comments how in the end, she wasn't Power Ring, she was a Green Lantern. And that's when a ring lifts up and it announces, Jessica Cruz of Earth, you have the ability to overcome great fear. You have been chosen. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. You see, the soul that was taken by the Black Racer wasn't Jessica's. It was Voltham's, the soul that controlled the Power Ring, freeing Jessica from the craft that he had on her. Mr. Miracle went over to Bart, his wife, and asked her what now. She agreed to leave the theories and they helped her.
That's why when he came in and gave you a drinky plank.
Grail also defeated as she did escape with the baby Darkseid. Superman's cells were permanently damaged, and he got news that he never thought he'd hear. He's died, but that's a story that we're going to cover soon. And lastly, Hal went to see Batman to ask what the chair said about the Joker. And Batman tells him, the Ring didn't know who I was talking about, since there are apparently 3 Jokers. And that is the conclusion to Darkseid War. Now, there is an epilogue, where Owlman finds Metron on the moon. And while they do talk about what was summoned with this explosive amount of power, something out of the multiverse kills them. But
that's a question for you. Do you think black and white is a color?
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget you can get more comic books.
If anybody it does watch, we'll know the answer to the question. But is black and white a color?
Follow me on Twitter @ComicStorian, and don't forget the team wrote a book about comic book movies. You can find the link to pre-order that down below. We really do appreciate your support. Have a good day.
I think you should have got that by now, Nicole. I can use pencil, that's no problem. Pencil is easy. But then again, once I've done the pencil, I can go over it once I'm happy with the colours, with the Copic markers. Then that will make it ever so slightly darker. But it doesn't matter. What I've noticed, what I showed you up here, is the blending. Because I said that one, you can't see that down there, but here is what color it starts off with, and then you can blend it. But I've already got black, so oh shit! Thinking about it, the black will blend in with the yellow, so you'll still have your black edged wings as well. because that's also in Copic marker. If that was in a Sharpie, it wouldn't blend. Because Copic markers are not ink based, they're actually alcohol based, which means they're a lot easier to blend because they like you can an alcoholic drink. You get the alcohol mixes with each other instead of being blocked against each other and sort of, no, I'm this color, no, I'm this color. Black is a tone. Yeah, you're right. Black is the tone at the very, very end. And white is the other end. White is still a tone. It's like all the colors to the highest point you can take them. Whereas black is the tone that you take every color to the lowest point it can go.
I've been laughing so much.
I'm gonna get rid of that advert.
The Man of Steel is no more.
Hoo-yoo.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down to the digestible bites to help you understand.
I loved it when my art teacher told me she didn't want me in her lessons anymore. After I told her I wanted to draw something other than a bowl of fruit.
It takes place after everything in the New 52. It's his final tale. Superman says with a very serious face, I'm dying. It's real now. I've run countless tests, scans, and ran the numbers. There's no way to fix it. And it is due to all of the recent events in my life. During the fight with Vandal Savage, he was bathed in kryptonite. Then in the fight with Rao, he took a beating like he had never taken before. And during the Darkseid War, he became imbued with the fires of...
I'm going to go off with the Copic markers.
The end result, he's dying. There is no cure. He walks over and he kneels
And that's
down
why I
with
did it in pencil
letting everyone
first.
down, the league, his country, the entire world. He's abandoning them. He looks up at the statue that he made of Ma and Pa Kent, happy that he at least got to finish his tribute to them. Then his alarms go off as someone is trying to hack into his fortress.
Look, no color
While
again.
he has the computer trace the signal, Crypto brings him the cake. He agrees.
Not my
He's always
hideous
the
nail.
judge of Superman. As he takes
But
off,
it's
saving
me
people
turning into the
always
wolf, ready for
doesn't
Sunday.
matter if he's sick. People need him. But eventually,
Did you enjoy that actually?
finish
Have you? Did you catch back on it?
He smiles at her, changing it
I won't tell you much about it because it's got a very twisted end.
But after he pushes her on the swing, he sadly tells her they need to talk. After he tells her the news,
I will be continuing again this Monday. This Sunday, as always. Sunday streams getting you ready for Monday. And did everybody enjoy the wolf singing you to sleep in the ACMR hour beforehand? Well, I think it was 30 minutes actually beforehand. I do that every weekend, guys. So if you do need a little bit of a chill out on a Sunday, don't forget to tune in. I do try and get it done as early as possible so for people that do obviously need to go to work on a Monday. But as always, I can't always do it at an earlier time because I've got other commitments I've got to do before getting into the ACMR ECM. I can't even say the word ASMR hour or 30 minutes leading you into the episode just after the story game.
And he asks if she's up for a spin, taking her into the sky. As they climb, she asks what's the occasion.
Oh, you really like it? Yeah, cool. Nice one. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed doing that one this week.
He lands after stopping one of Batman's villains, telling him, yes, it is. Would you bring your car? No. Good. Why? Then Superman picks up Batman and flies.
Can have another go on here. See if I can get.
You're officially pissing me off now. Once they get there, he explains everything to Bruce, and Bruce looks for an answer. He explains that he brought Damian back from the dead. They can fix this. But Superman tells him there is no fix. He looked for it. He's resigned himself to what is coming, and he's not here for sympathy or for
Watch
hope.
it blend.
He needs Bruce's help in finding someone. Kara Zor-El. Supergirl has been missing for the last few weeks, and he wants to make sure that she is okay and safe. And he needs someone to carry on his name once he's gone. Bruce has a seat at his computer with a new task in mind. Something to get his
As long as I get the right saturation,
best friend is dying.
you can drag it a little bit.
We'll be back. He has another stop to make.
Then
And as
becomes
he leaves, Alfred stops him.
dissolves into each other.
Shakes Superman's hand.
Again, I don't know if you can see what I can see, but
You're welcome, Superman says with a
that's
smile.
gone from very, very dark
Alfred looks over
to a
at
lighter
Bruce,
tone
task
afterwards.
in mind, and then he watches Bruce smash his
So I think I'm going to be using these.
Later that night, Superman flies back over to see
I
Batman.
really want to use my Copic markers. They do give everything a more of a pop.
Big watchtower says that you just saved 3,000 people from the lava flow. I didn't count. Had another situation that needed my help in India. You're starting to.
Ooh, jeans though.
Would you? No. Okay then. So what do you got? The last
I've got no colour to blend. If I had like a blender pen, I could. Well, I can't do it after it's dried, but the jeans would be a lot easier to do, and they wouldn't be so dark as that color there. That's blue. It's very dark.
He found Kara held captive. He tears apart the device holding her, and he flies her out of the lab. And then she wakes up asking him, "What are you doing?"
That
you
dark.
becoming a lab rat? She jumps out of his arms. "I don't need your saving."
Then again, fabric
I wasn't under the impression
doesn't
that I
have to
had
be
report to you
dark
everywhere
colors.
I go. I came here on my own, and they were helping me. My powers are growing weaker, and they're helping me get them back up and running. Then
Yeah, it's. I've just seen your message. Yeah, it's harder to see
catches them and asks them, "What's wrong
on the
with that?"
YouTube. Like I said, the YouTube is.
And that person's going to be you. Over in China, the dragon monster.
Thank you.
Cut off his hand to get the blood that was.
That is.
Over in Metropolis, our man-
It's harder to see on the YouTube because again the camera's a bit fuzzy. That's why I keep taking pictures on the Instagram, on the phone, and on the tablet, because then you can actually see what I can see. It's like seeing, you're like seeing without my glasses on. If that makes any sense.
He brought her to the fortress of solitude to show her his home, which is now hers. He explains
Right, do you want it at the base, the wings? Do you want it at on every single wing? Do you want it like just like flames here? And obviously you want a bit of color there. I like that there. I could start there because then I can just darken it off again. But
demanding to know when he was going to tell her. When was he
flame,
going to
like
tell
the
her
flames
he
here,
was She walks over
again
to
across this
"My
piece
last
here,
window. Batman told you?"
or
Yes, he assumed we had already
just
spoken.
like a
Hello.
tiny burn mark on each
Diana,
wing.
I didn't tell you, Diana, because telling you was going to be the hardest of all. I was honestly building up for it. Seeing that they need some time alone, Kara heads off telling Hal to call her when he needs her. And Diana begins to tell Clark that they need to figure this out, solve it, maybe go back to the gods
I know,
and save again. But Clark stops her. If you trust me, Diana,
Got to do is
trust
bill
me
it.
when I say that this isn't a battle that I'm going to win. He
Differentiate
solidly
it
closes her
between.
eyes. I've gone over it and over it. This is this. After all of their fighting recently, she asks him, "Do you love me, Clark?" And he caresses the back of her head and he kisses her. But they're interrupted by a call from Argus, letting him know that they've got something for him to look at. Diana and Clark head over to see this weird man calling himself Superman. They can both identify the energy coming off of him as the energy that Superman expels during a solar flare. That's the new power that he used recently against Ulysses. But this fake Superman gets up and starts yelling at him. "How
Just dropped it
dare
off
you
my
fake
finger.
me wearing my family crest?" Diana stays behind to keep an eye on the fake, while Superman goes to check on Ulysses, a man also being kept here at Argus. But when he goes downstairs, the anger in the fake Superman builds up. And he
That's weird.
explodes
I've never done that
behind the
before.
cell. The surge also
Why is my finger rocking off a
While
pencil?
Diana is fighting with the fake Superman, who we will
Then,
now
yeah,
be
it does
calling
give it a
Superman
lighter
to
tone,
avoid
so I like it.
confusion. Ulysses powers up and he hits Clark with everything. Ulysses has power equal to Clark, and in his weakened state, Clark is no match for Ulysses. He keeps beating on him over and over, telling him that he'll pay for
That's
what he did.
weird.
While this is going on, Diana is trying to hold back Solar Man until he flies off escaping. That's when Steve Trevor runs over, turning back on Argus's systems, and Diana runs over to save Clark and finds Ulysses has stopped beating on him once the power dampers came back on, because it didn't matter. He's already died. Batman joined Wonder Woman and Superman as they took to the skies to find this fake Superman, Solar
Like
Man.
down bottom of
Diana
here.
explains that this man truly thinks that he is Superman, and Bruce's computers picked up his energy signals in China. Looking at Diana and Clark holding hands, Bruce tells him that he's happy that they worked things out.
What I'll do is I'll do a tip
Diana
of the wing here.
"Don't listen to Diana, Bruce. I appreciate you coming to help us with this. What are friends for, Clark? We're more than friends, Bruce. We're super friends." Say that again, and we're most definitely not. Since the signal is in China and the monsters that attacked them earlier looked
I'll
Chinese,
just use
Clark
that too
assumes that
much.
it's all connected. But as they enter the Chinese airspace, they're stopped by China's own superheroes, insisting that they leave it up to China. After a little superhero on superhero fight, they agree to work together to solve this. And the signal brings them to a lab where they meet Dr. Omen. They accuse her of taking Superman's residual energies and using it on something, and Clark can feel it nearby. So they walk into one of her labs where they see a man filled with Superman's energy and wearing an S. But he doesn't look like the fake Superman that they fought earlier. Realizing that her work is possibly in trouble, she frees this Superman and he takes off into the skies. While the Justice League wants to chase him, the Chinese superheroes tell them that he is their problem right now, unless they want an international incident. Realizing that they have to find the one that's actually causing problems, they leave this Chinese Superman to the Chinese officials, but they expect to be briefed on the situation. Meanwhile, Solar Man has made his way back to Lois Lane's apartment.
That'll
As
soak
Clark
in a
goes to bed
second.
and all fly back, Superman suddenly collapses out of the sky again. Diana helps him.
I did that wrong. I should have started with the darker, lighter tones and then
But Clark stops her.
do that
"Please,
again.
no more dunking me in weird places. I should find my double." Solar Man is currently asking Lois if she truly knows Superman. And if she does she want to know a secret? Over in California, there is another Clark Kent, an older, wiser Clark Kent, going by the name Clark White. You see, after the event known as Flashpoint, the original older Superman from the original timeline, with his wife Lois Lane and son Jonathan, found themselves on this Earth.
I think that dark black Copic mark is already dried too much.
And he managed to remain hidden this whole time until the fake Superman brought this timeline's Lois Lane to his home, somehow knowing about him. Lois is confused and Clark White is too, because who is this Superman and what is he doing here? But once Solar Man threatens his son Jonathan, Clark White is done playing games, and using his super speed, he grabs Solar Man, tearing him out of the house. The two of them begin to fight it out in the sky. The energy signal gets the Batplane's attention, and Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all head to that location. Clark White and Solar Man crash land into a field just as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all arrive. And Superman looks at Clark White and asks, "What is this? Who are you?" But Clark White tells him, "It's a long story, Kal-El, which we have no time."
Only minutes to go before the purge sirens start blaring.
I've not watched one of those films yet. Like that.
Right now. With Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman there, Clark White flies over, grabbing his Lois and his son, and he gets them out of the line of fire. Superman and Wonder Woman begin throwing everything they have at Solar Man, while Batman gets this timeline's Lois Lane out of the way of danger. Once Batman gets her a safe distance away, he turns around to go help his friends, while Superman and Wonder Woman are swinging trees at Solar Man. But after they beat on him so hard that they turn him back into himself, he starts solar flaring, and he drops both Superman and Wonder Woman. He then grabs Superman by the head, taking him into the sky, stating, "I'm gonna show you who the true Superman is." He holds him close, shouting in his face, "Say it! Say I'm the real Superman! Tell the world!" And Superman knocks him back, asking, "Do you want me to lie?" He smacks Solar Man back, and then he hits Superman with a blast of energy, and they keep slugging it out once again, until Solar Man explodes with power, dropping Superman. Then,
Just got a picture of fire. Fire starts with a lighter color, then goes darker.
As she goes in for another hit, he flares up, throwing her out of the sky. So Batman hits him with the Batplane. The whole mess crash lands, and Batman climbs out. And that's when Solar Man breaks through the wreckage and into the sky again, slamming his fist into the ground. He's growing so hot with energy that he no longer looks like Superman, but instead fully looks like a being of...
So the way I was doing it was right.
Superman tackles him, and he brings him into space, because this being...
See that flame on there?
Explode. But in his weakened state, Superman can't get him high enough. He can't get him into space until Clark White shows up to help push. "I've got you. Let's finish this. Who are you?" "A friend." Then Clark White sees Superman's condition. "Your skin. You have kryptonite poison. Thanks for the help, but I've got a plan that you can't be a part of. Right now, we're a part of the same team. I'm staying." "Good to hear, because whoever you are, the world's going to need you," Superman says, punching Clark White across the face, dropping him back to Earth. Superman gets into space, and he decides that he's going to counter Solar Man's explosion with his own solar flare. Fight fire with fire, and then the explosion in the sky is massive. And once it's over, the whole
Superman's
world
got another
stops,
power,
and Superman falls from the
assuming.
sky, and Clark White catches him just as he's about to crash. The helicopter lands with Steel and Lana on it.
I think Superman's overpowered.
They gather around Clark Kent. He falls to the ground asking Batman, "Did I absorb it?" "Every last bit." "Good." Got worried there for a second. Then Lana runs over. "What am I going to do without my best friend?" "Anything and everything." And Lois runs over to Superman. "I should have known that I couldn't keep you away from a big story, Lois." "You mean from you, Clark. Remember everything that we talked about, Lois?" "I do, and I will." Then he turns to Supergirl. "Make me proud, Kara. You can count on me, cousin." And Steel thanks Superman for always inspiring him. And then Batman leans in. "Clark, you don't have to say anything. I know, because you're the best of us. Serving by your side has been an honor." "No, the pleasure's been all mine, Batman." Then he looks up at Diana, taking everything I have to hold on. "This energy is burning up inside of me. Let go, darling. It's all right. Your parents are waiting for you." And he smiles at her. "What a lucky man I was." Finally, the energy disperses, and he turns to ashes. The world without Superman began. Lex Luthor looked at his new suit with the S on it. Jimmy Olsen broke his TV, because the news was reporting that his friend had passed. And Lois went to work on his last wishes, writing the story, sadly titled, Superman, A Hero's Life. Now, this is the end of the New 52 Superman, and honestly, I was just starting to really like him. I felt like he was finally becoming the Superman that I knew and loved as a child, and I felt like we got to see that journey of him becoming a hero. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you like the fact that he's gone and we're going to get free Flashpoint Superman back? Or do you now miss him? Do you feel, as I do, that we finally started to care about him? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, @ComicStorian, on Instagram, @ComicStorian, and check out our manga channel, Manga Storian. We're bringing manga every Friday.
Manga Story. Oh, didn't know I had another series thingy. I'll have to check that one out.
I always let them know I'm on my way. It's part of the fun. They just want to know I'm coming home. I don't know who gets more excited that I'll be home for bedtime. Them or me.
If Superman died, how can we have Superman in the rebirth? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down and then I just about might to help you understand. Then everybody dramatically back to you all iterations of the panels, text, images, art, or prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is a rebirth, a DC rebirth. It is not a reboot. It is a new status quo as DC brings back the things that you loved about your favorite superheroes and puts them into the existing timeline. We are going to be showcasing select issues of the rebirth to let you know the starting points for these series. Each of these rebirth issues is continued in the mainline book of the same name. This is Superman Rebirth. All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I live and breathe by that quote with all of my heart. I'll bet you did too. For many years, I tried to help from the shadows while keeping my family safe and keep their existence in this world secret from the world. But evil found us, and no matter what the personal cost, I wasn't about to stand by and watch this Earth lose its Superman to that villain. I tried to save you, but of course, you were too busy saving others. We didn't get much chance to talk. Only a few words were passed between us, and then you died. This universe's Superman died in my arms. He was buried in Metropolis. Yet, I am also Superman. Clark Kent, the Superman of this timeline, died, and now we only have Clark White. But who is Clark White? At what people can only call the beginning of the story, a different Superman from another time found himself stranded here in this timeline. He is from a world where Superman was the beacon of light. He was married to Lois Lane and they had a kid on the way. From a timeline that you could call pre-Flashpoint, or maybe even pre-New 52. But once he arrived here, he saw that there was already a Superman in this world. And he saw that this Superman was heroic and able to keep this world safe. So he decided to live in the shadows and take care of his family, allowing this timeline to develop as it should. He then worked from the shadows to prevent the disasters that he knew were going to happen due to the previous timeline. And he never let anyone know that he was here until his family was threatened by a man thinking that he was in fact Superman. It took Clark Kent and Clark White to defeat him, and that's when this timeline Superman died, and Batman and Wonder Woman discovered that there was in fact a much older Superman with a beard and a black suit. He hasn't spoken to them or explained anything yet, and he intends to later. But now, seeing as Clark White is just Clark Kent from another timeline, he knows that Clark Kent probably won't stay dead. He goes into the underground tunnels where they buried Clark Kent, and he discovers that someone is already there, Lana Lang, the childhood friend of both Clark Kents. From the shadows, she can see the silhouette of her oldest friend, and she rushes over to him to discover that it is a much older and mysterious other Superman. He doesn't explain anything, but he tells her that he knows who she is and that in another life, they are friends. And then he explains that he is here to wait. When she asks him what he's waiting for, he tells her the Superman to come back to life. He asks what she's doing here, and she explains that she's trying to move Clark Kent's body because he doesn't want to be buried here. And Clark White asks her to be patient because dying is easy and being reborn is hard. Now that Lana is super confused, he explains that on his world, in his timeline, he fought against a creature known as Doomsday. He was different than the one on this world and much stronger, and he actually killed Clark White. But in the end, after a period of healing, Clark White woke up ready to save the world again. So Lana asks why he is here if he knows that Clark Kent will wake up, and he explains that he wanted to move the body somewhere safe, to the Fortress of Solitude. Lana demands to go with him, since this makes them partners. And Clark White takes her and the confident Superman to the Fortress of Solitude, because he knows that there should be a device to speed up Clark Kent's healing and bring him back to life, the regeneration matrix. But that's when Clark White discovers that on this world, in this timeline, there's no regeneration matrix, and a recording begins to play back. One that Clark Kent left for Kara, letting her know that she is the new hero of this planet. And to help her in her journey as Supergirl, he has programmed himself into the Fortress of Solitude. Clark White is in shock. He looks around realizing that Clark Kent honored both of his parents here in the Fortress of Solitude, something that Clark White never thought of, and that Clark White can't bring him back. Clark Kent can't be revived. So he agrees to help Lana with her plan instead. They will go to the Smallville cemetery. They're going to bury him alongside his parents. Clark White offers to help her dig the hole. She tells him She needs to do this herself. And he puts his hand on her shoulder, letting her know that while the two Clark Kents have led very different lives, both were lucky to have a lot of land in them. And he flew off to go back to the Fortress of Solitude. He looked at the statue that Clark Kent made to honor both of his parents, the Kryptonian and the human. And he knew that something was missing. So he added another statue to it. A statue to honor Superman himself. Smiling, he says to himself, all that tomorrow is missing is Superman. Now, if you're wondering what's going to happen next, you need to pick up Superman issue #1, because that's when Clark White decides that it's time for him to come out of the shadows and be the new Superman. But while he's deciding that, Lex Luthor decides that maybe he should be the new Superman. That all happens in Superman #1, and we'll cover it eventually, but like I said, go check it out right now, because it's really amazing so far. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget to let me know down below what's the next rebirth that you guys want. Follow me on Twitter @ComicStory and Instagram @ComicStory, and I'll see you next time right here.
But if you want to hear more when I draw, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm Blut084, BLUT084. Art and games here every day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram, guys. Same name, different place.
Why now?
Do you think these glasses suit me?
No.
Me neither.
Should have gone to Specsavers. Take the guesswork out of choosing glasses. Try Specsavers' new Frame Styler technology in store.
With Superman dead, many individuals are claiming to be Superman. So what's going to happen? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Not every day is dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today, we're going to be covering the first arc within the Action Comics storyline, Action Comics 957 to 962. Something has changed within the DC universe. Superman died. This has left a void within Metropolis, as they are now searching for their new champion, their new hero. And you know who thinks that he would be good for this role? Lex Luthor. He will be the Superman that Metropolis deserves. Lex Luthor has everything under control, but he isn't the only man who feels that he has a right to the Superman title. Yes, Superman died, but another version of Superman is living on this world. The Superman who died was going by the name of Clark Kent, and he lived here his whole life, in what is called the Earth of New 52. We also have a Clark White. He is a Superman from a time before a Flashpoint, before the New 52. He lived a full life on his world, and then moved here with his wife Lois Lane and son Jonathan to this world after the events of Convergence. Even though he has chosen to stay out of the world's eyesight, he knows he can't allow Lex Luthor to become the new Superman. It's time for him to take up the mantle. Lex Luthor stands over the people of Metropolis, telling them that as a member of the Justice League, he was proud to work alongside Superman and is in awe at his ultimate sacrifice. He is even honored to have called him a friend. But rest assured, people of Metropolis, I am here to let you know that you are safe. You are Superman.
Soak back to being
You're
yellow.
not Superman, Lex. I am. The real Superman says, hovering near him. Lex looks up at this new Superman, angry. You aren't him. He's dead. While all of Metropolis and the two Supermen are distracted, though, there's a heist going on for a top-secret coffin. On the current version of Superman's homeworld, the pre-New 52 world, Lex Luthor was a villain and his arch-enemy. But here, Lex Luthor has proven himself a hero time and time again. And he tells Lex, I know you're evil, a murderer, an agent of destruction.
Gonna give another
and
ping
I'm
out to Instagram, guys.
You wear that shield on your chest. X looks him in the eye. Meritless charges and wild accusations. You're clearly mistaking me for someone else. No, I am the only one who knows who you really are. Lex reaches out his hand. You clearly have the wrong impression of me, sir. I suggest we go.
If I buff for a minute or two, guys, bear with me. This will, it's may stop me. It may cause some buffering. So stay tuned and it will sort itself out. But I'm about to go live on Instagram just to make a quick post to let everybody know that I'm still live here and I won't finish. I said I will not stop until I finish this piece today. Hey guys, just letting everybody know here on Instagram that I'm still drawing live, and we've gone past the inking stage, and we have now started going into the colouring stage with the Copic markers and a few pencils. So if you guys want to join me live, don't forget I'm Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games. So if you want to come and tune in and watch me finish off the flames on the wings and the color of the Dark Hero. I don't know if it's a Dark Hero or just a winged demon. I'm not really sure. It's just a thing I drew. Something came out of my mind. But yeah, guys, definitely come over and check it out. And you guys can watch me to do it live. Or if you do join, you can rewind and watch the whole process from the very, very beginning, guys. Again, my name is Blut084. BLUT084. And if you want to listen to anything from the Comic Historian playlist that I normally listen to, you can listen to the whole of the Dark Metal playlist from last video, and then continued on today. Tune in and as I'm live here on YouTube.
Happy with how much data will be retrieved today. And from their home, Lois is concerned.
Okay, that one's done. Back.
Doomsday grabs Superman by the throat. He throws him into a building nearby before jumping to follow up. But as he's about to land on Superman, Lex gets in front of the impact and hits Doomsday back. Superman tells Lex, we need to get him away from here. And Lex tells him, you can shove this piece of trash into the sewers. It's isolated. While Lex is throwing everything he has at Doomsday, it's not working. And Doomsday is ignoring it and begins to charge at Lex. So Superman rockets in. This is a job for Superman. He takes Doomsday up into the sky with hopes of bringing him into space where there is no atmosphere. But as he's rising higher and higher, Doomsday is using his sheer force to hit Superman in the head over and over. And eventually he positions Superman's head into a spot where he knees him in the mouth, drawing blood. Clark and Jimmy watch the ground, scared at the fact that Doomsday is winning and he's apparently stronger than Superman. Superman and Doomsday begin to fall back to Earth, so they continue to swing at each other in free fall until Doomsday grabs Superman.
I'll give you a zoom in a minute, guys. Just repositioning it. Maybe thinking about it, I might be able to tune the camera a little bit, so you might be able to see it. Maybe. I can grip it.
All over until he sees Doomsday break a monorail track. Even Jimmy and Clark have to admit that Lex could save an entire train of people.
There we go.
Lex sees the train falling and he realizes he's going
That's
to
a bit sharper.
a second, but Superman catches it and tells Lex to take the train while he finishes off Doomsday. But Lex knows what has to happen. Superman has to save these people and someone needs to distract Doomsday. So Lex heads over to Doomsday. Superman realizes that he only has minutes until Doomsday beats Lex to death, so he tries to save as many as he can, but it only took seconds for Doomsday to tear open Lex's suit and grasp him by the head. Meanwhile, back at the house of Superman, Lois is terrified and tears are rolling down her face as she holds Jonathan close and doesn't allow him to watch the television. She explains to John that this man is very, very bad, and then he asks, did Dad fight him before? She tells him, he did. And John asks, were you there too? I was. So it worked out. Can I watch the television again? Meanwhile, at the battle, Lex is managing to get free, but he's beaten and battered, and he's pulling himself away.
That's what I wish I could draw.
I just need a little more time. But Superman comes back and telling him, I'll take it from here, Luthor. I softened him up for you.
One day.
Superman grabs
One
him
day I'll
and
get there.
wail on him again, and realizing that this is the Doomsday that killed him, meaning he can't hold back anymore. Lex, meanwhile, pulls a box out of his suit of armor, the device powering it, a mother box from the Dark Side War. And he tells
This
himself,
child of mine,
what
what are you coming after your ring for?
But back with Superman, Doomsday grabs a car and throws it at nearby civilians, only to have Superman crush him from behind.
No, you got an apple today. Do you want an orange?
Clark Kent also slips into the sinkhole that was created, and he lands, breaking his arm. He turns to Superman, fighting Doomsday, and he tells
Go
him,
rest your
I think
foot.
I broke my arm. So Superman tells him,
Let's go and rest your foot. That's what you got a day off for
Save
today.
me like you did before. Superman gets ready to swing again, telling Clark, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You already know.
When you send me into hiding,
That's why I'm doing the
I'll help
latest
you,
stream
but I
today.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Go rest.
Even as Superman continues to struggle with Doomsday, Clark persists. Quit playing the mystery man. You owe me answers. I could say the same to you. Lex then hovers back over, and while he wants to rejoin the fight, Superman tells him to get the civilians to safety. While at first Lex fights about it, he agrees and begins to get Clark out of the sewers. While Superman jumps back in to give the full force of his strength to Doomsday. Then he falls in with a full heat blast, except he accidentally ignited a gas line and the block explodes. Everyone stands worried, looking into the crater that was made, and they see Doomsday walking out, and he walks forward, seeing Clark Kent.
Keep seeing my bit. I've noticed you keep seeing my back of my head as well. I don't like showing the back of my head.
I could say the same to you. She puts him down and tells him to get some medical attention, while behind him, Superman comes out of the crater and slams Doomsday. He begins to punch Doomsday at rapid fire with super speed. Pick this one up in the flash. 3,272 blows and counting. 4,034, 4,035, and then Doomsday catches him and goes to punch him, but Wonder Woman stops his fist. Good to see you too, Diana. You too. This day is full of surprises. Superman catches a bus. Are you referring to the man claiming to be Clark Kent? I don't know how you did it, but it's effective. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I have no idea who or what he is. Wonder Woman then stops a truck being thrown at her with her shield, and Superman crashes the bus into Doomsday. Back at home, Superman's son John sees this on TV and he jumps up. Yes! But something about that yell got Doomsday's attention all the way out in Metropolis, and he begins to walk away from the battle with Superman, stating, "Years." As Superman looks around, Wonder Woman informs him that Doomsday left. And Superman finds himself confused. Doomsday never flees from a fight, and Lex floats over demanding to know what's going on. Superman explains that Doomsday is a genetic creation murdered over and over so that it would learn to adapt and survive anything. It was built to hunt and kill Kryptonians. It could even sense them. And that's when Superman puts it together. John, with a whoosh!
I always let them know I'm on my way. It's part of the fun. They just want to know I'm coming home. I don't know who gets more excited that I'll be home for bedtime. Them or me.
He takes off at top speed. Wonder Woman launches after him, asking what's going on, and Superman explains that Doomsday may be able to sense his son, and that's why he left. Meanwhile, back at the estate of Superman, Lois had a feeling that this may be the case as well, and she's currently speeding down the streets trying to get away from where John yelled, until Superman stops the car, explaining, "I have you." They have a tearful reunion and an awkward hello to Wonder Woman before, BAM! They see him. Wonder Woman begins to battle with Doomsday, and Superman...
Oh, so they did make
Superman
and Wonder Woman get together. Stupid mistake that was.
Stronger still.
Because they're two superheroes that can do the same similar things doesn't mean they have to be in love.
They go back and forth with Doomsday, always gaining the upper hand of Superman, slamming him into the ground.
That's the new people coming into the comics going, "Oh, why didn't they get married?"
It should be unbreakable, but it doesn't stop
And
Doomsday.
that will get some hate comments, I'll tell you that.
Then using it, he begins to wrap it around Superman's neck until John blasts Doomsday with his heat vision. Doomsday turns to John, but Superman looks at him. "Don't you touch my son!" And he knocks him out of the park. Superman gives Lois a kiss, and he gets back into the battle, flying and blasting his heat vision at Doomsday. Then, as he's in the ground, Superman keeps punching him, and Doomsday throws him into the sky. Furious, Doomsday gets angrier and angrier until... A military-style unit has arrived out of nowhere with a technology that Superman has never seen before. These new players to the game begin to put a contraption around Doomsday, seemingly trapping him into a teleporter of some kind until he knees one of them in the stomach, tearing them apart, and he pulls himself out. Superman comes back, taking Doomsday far, far away from here. He has no idea who those potential captors were, but they bought him the time that he needed, and they weakened Doomsday. Superman then, using Doomsday's own momentum, launches him halfway around the world and into Superman's own fortress that he created when it couldn't get into the Fortress of Solitude. The base begins to open fire on Doomsday, weakening him while it charges up Superman's secret weapon, and it tries his best to stall Doomsday, but he can't do it. Even weakened, Doomsday is too much, until Wonder Woman returns to help. Superman uses that chance to grab the charged item, and then he blasts Doomsday into the Phantom Zone. And Superman wins the day again, showing the world that he is in fact the new Superman and he is here to save them. He thanks Wonder Woman for her help, and while this isn't the Superman that she dated, she thanks him back and tells him it was an honor to fight by your side once more. Then he goes to Metropolis, where he takes Lex to the Daily Planet, which Lex owns now, to ask him, "Why do you wear the old Superman symbol? Your predecessor was an inspiration to all of us Superman. The cape, the shield, they mean something to people, but it's only a starting point. Metropolis needs to be inspired again by a human being who can show them how to rise above. Recent events have shown this city won't survive with us at odds, so that makes us allies? Not yet, Luther." Superman then goes to the Watchtower, where Wonder Woman moved Lois and Jonathan for safety. Lois welcomes them back with open arms, and everything's okay for now, except the cloaked figure intercepted the Phantom Zone teleporter and now has Doomsday as his prisoner. That's the conclusion to the first Superman arc, and oh my god, did they come out with a bang! DC Rebirth launched this, and I was so excited and on the edge of my seat with each issue, and I hope you enjoyed this. It was a crazy exciting story. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Story, and we can talk about this, or follow me on Instagram so you can see comic book panels as I get them.
Glad you like listening to it. That's what I've got it in the background for. Got to be quick.
Can I help you, mate?
Do you think these glasses suit me?
No.
Right.
Should have gone to Specsavers. Take the guesswork out of choosing glasses. Try Specsavers' new frame styler technology in store.
Or you can go to anywhere else that you want to get your glasses from, guys, because they're quite expensive. Don't hold that as an advert for them. I don't have anything to do with them. That's just an advert in the background whilst I listen to the playlists.
What will he do if others begin to agree with him that Lex could be a
And it annoys me that I can't get rid of the adverts. There is a way of doing it, but I have to get Prime, which I don't have.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break them down in a digestible bite to help you understand or recap your favorite storylines before I add some crazy music and weird voices to dramatically read it back to you. All alterations in the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by suspected companies. Now, before we get started this storyline, I need to catch you up in case this is your first video. In this world, there was a Superman and there was a Lois Lane. They were the New 52, Superman and Lois Lane. But at the end of the New 52 marked books, that Superman died. And shortly after the beginning of DC Rebirth, that Lois Lane also died. But don't worry, this world does have a Superman, as the pre-crisis Clark Kent and his wife Lois Lane have arrived on this world with their son John. He's attempted to become the new Superman, taking the place of the old Superman, except he's run into a slight problem. Lex Luthor, who is known as a hero in this world, decided that it was time for him to be Superman. The two of them battled it out in our previous storyline until Doomsday interrupted them, and then they separated, with Superman deciding that he wasn't quite sure if he could trust Lex. And Lex decided he didn't know who the new Superman was. In the middle of all of this, we have another Clark Kent that has showed up. We're going to call him Mysterio Clark. So there you go. We have pre-crisis Superman, pre-crisis Lois Lane.
Mysterio is a stolen word.
And we have Mysterio Clark Kent. Now that confusion is somewhat sorted out, let's begin our story. In Earth's final hour, destruction and war will be the last the planet sees. By the time Earth's forces fight back, it will already be too late, and the forces of evil will be led by the Annihilator wearing a red cape. This is Earth's future, unless the Godslayer, Lakal, and Zayd don't stop it. Over in the Amazon, Clark and his son John begin to investigate a strange occurrence. Earlier in our storyline, a building went missing out of Metropolis, and as Clark pushes away the leaves, John looks at the giant building asking how did it even get here. Clark tells him that that's what they're here to check out. Whoever did it was powerful enough to send it halfway across the world. John then asks, what are they going to do with it? Clark tells them that they're going to leave it here for now, so they can find a way to bring it back to Metropolis in one piece. Meanwhile, over in Metropolis, Lois arrives at Lex's office when this world...
You see how that's blended in now? Because I left it for a while. Because these are all blending in as I do other pieces as well. Because this is, again, because this Copic marker, this isn't ink I'm using. It's actually alcohol based. So they blend, but they blend slowly, if you see what I mean.
And several monitors that are displaying Mysterio Clark on them, showing that Lex also doesn't believe
so you get a
Mysterio Clark is a true
not
individual. Lex turns off those monitors.
Hard color between the two colors. You get like a nice phase between the two.
Why is it that
and that's why I like Copic markers.
Lex tells you the truth is that the world will always need a Superman. However,
like shading with pen.
It is time for a man to take that role, rather than a being that appeared out of nowhere. Lois asks him, why don't you just accept the fact that Superman could be here to protect you and contribute to the Earth's well-being? That isn't fact, but mere speculation. And also, Superman has yet to explain where he came from or what his goals are. He then turns to the container of the power suit and tells Lois that he would like to show her something. She notices the small box floating next to the suit. The suit begins to power up and fire a blast into a giant cement block. The block then begins to get smaller and smaller. Lois begins to ask what happened. Lex tells her that he just transported it via something called a boom tube. Lois looks back and realizes what that cube is. It's a mother box. Suddenly, there's a loud boom, and the walls of the lab is blown away. Lois and Lex are pulled out of the hole, but as Lois catches herself, she calls out to Clark. Mysterio Clark runs out stating that he's here, but Lois begins to think to herself, that's so wrong.
I haven't seen him in the Spider-Man PS4 game yet. Kind of have, but not quite.
But it's time for war.
But we may be seeing him tonight, guys, because last night we took down Negative Man.
finish his sentence, though, he's blasted away.
And I
He
can't
calls
say
out,
any more
"Whoever
because
you
my
are,
son's
come out
listening,
and
and I
fight
don't
me
want to give
right
anything
back."
of the game
McCall
away.
appears behind Lex, tackling him down, stating,
Just that he knows he needs to know that he can play a little bit more later if he wishes, so he can catch up so I can actually talk about it.
Punching Clark and throwing him into a nearby building. Back at Lex's lab, McCall beats down on Lex, telling him, "I know what you are."
Okay, I'm not going to take those flames any higher because I think it'll ruin it.
The God Slayer, and I will stop the return of another dark side. I am here to sentence Lex Luthor to death. Clark and Zane fly through the city, punching and beating at each other. The smoothest turtle Zane
Oh,
manages to get his
rush.
hand around Clark's neck, and he gets a squeeze. Clark begins hitting Zane's arm, trying his best to break it, move it, make him loosen his grip.
Oh,
and he thinks to
head
himself
rush.
that this would normally
Way
have
I've been
loosened
spinning.
most people's grips, but it's not working on Zane. John watches as his dad and Zane continue their battle, and he thinks how he knows he shouldn't get involved, but he can't just sit here while his dad gets beat up. Back in the tower, McCall tells Lex, "I have seen your future. I am here to stop you before you will commit those crimes." As McCall swings a short fork around Lex's head, and Lex says, "From what I'm hearing,
Give you a zoom in.
Lex then smacks McCall away, stating, "It's also a delusional thing that you can ever win." The laser pops out of Lex's
Okay.
power suit.
Add some more colour to that
Going to fire his
bottom of the
blast
mask and the
at
face, but
as the lasers go off, McCall fades away. Lois and Mysterio
There we go.
come out of the rooftop to see what's going on. But as Lex tells them that they should be inside, McCall appears, slashing into Lex's back. Over with the true and proper Clark. Zane continues to try and choke him out.
do some
So
colour on
Clark
his shoes,
takes him
but
away, and he looks over to see Lex in trouble. But as he's trying to see what's going on over there, he begins to feel like his vision isn't.
I don't know if I should leave the wings white or give him a shade of something.
So Clark fires his heat vision. Zane continues walking through the blast, stating, "That's not very hot. But this is what happens when you do your thing." Then there's a sudden rumble off in the distance, and Zane looks back to see a semi-truck crashing through the wall, knocking him over. Clark gets up thinking that he should thank whoever that is, and then he realizes it can only be one person. John jumps out of the truck, stating, "It was a good thing you told me."
there you go, guys. Let me know if you're catching back later today, what you think. It is, I've noticed it's coming on quite a lengthy time now, but that doesn't really matter. Got to wait for that camera to focus again. It's costing now. I now realise why people do this with their cameras. It helps to focus and then.
Clark asks, "If you mean Lex, because as bad as he might be, he hasn't." And then McCall holds out his
Slightly.
hand, telling Clark
Not
to
too much,
watch.
but that's because I just had it really close.
McCall explains that Lex will be the one to ascend to Darkseid's throne while the vision fades. Clark tells him that is a possible future, and that isn't enough to. McCall stops him, stating, "This is the future." Lex gets back up, trying to clarify.
I like my Copic markers.
But before Lex can fire his arm gun, Zane appears, slamming his head into an air vent. Clark and McCall continue to argue, but McCall pulls out a blaster, telling him, "If my mission fails, worlds will die." And then he blasts Clark in the face. As Clark falls to his knees, McCall goes on, stating, "Worlds with families, fathers, mothers, children." McCall then draws his sword, stating, "A man who is willing to protect the person who will commit those crimes is just as bad as them." But before he can strike down on Clark, John screams out from the next building, "Please don't kill him! That's my dad!" The beast hesitates, and then says the name, Tasai. He puts away his sword, stating that this will be over free. And then him and Zane grab Alexa's body and take it away. Lois runs out asking who was that, and Clark tells her they claim to know the future. He even showed me a glimpse of it, where they said that Lex would rise up and be as every bit as bad as Darkseid. The two of them talk about how that could be a possibility. And Mysterio Clark mentions that this might be like having a chance to stop something bad before it could actually happen. What if he's right? What if Lex is a mass murderer in the making? Because if that's the case, they should just let Lex die. Over on the planet of the Dusty, Zane slams Lex's head into a wall, asking him it's hard to concentrate. Lex says that it doesn't matter how much they weaken him. He's still smarter than all of them. McCall tells him that Zane has not yet been an enemy that he couldn't weaken. And now you will be even weaker when we neutralize that power suit. Lex falls to his knees, stating, "You have the wrong man. Those crimes you speak of, I would never do anything like that. Right here, right now, I am an innocent." McCall looks down at him and tells him, "This is where you're wrong. I've seen the future, and it isn't sure." It was several weeks prior when McCall returned from another mission. He decided that it was time for him to stop this carnage and butchery. He had grown old and weary with so many years of bloodshed. After telling their leader, Char, that he was done, all he wanted to do was sit in peace and remember the family that he had once lost. But they gave him one last vision. One of them man with the power next to Darkseid, and it made him return for one
Look
final
at this wet.
Lex argues the fact
I'm gonna let that dry a minute.
that he's yet to do anything.
Can't touch it, else it'll just smudge the bloody page off. That's why I got a thick page book. And if you're ever going to do any drawings, guys, like I said, it does come through a little bit, but it doesn't go all the way through to the next page, which is really awesome. Because I've noticed on some of the other cheaper books, like I said, you can tell it's a thick page. It is for actual Copic marker pens and things like that. Because a lot of older pages that you could use, you would, especially with ink pens, they would just go straight through your page onto the next page, and then you've ruined about 3 pages before you even noticed.
Once his location is discovered, Clark decides that he needs to come crashing down into the cell to tell him it's time to go home. Lex responds with typical arrogance. It's about damn time. They did something to weaken.
Any opinions you want to give quickly before you go? Yeah, that would be helpful. But I'm pretty much, to be honest with you, I'm pretty much done. Other than putting a bit of colour onto his top. Do you want to pick one? Because otherwise I'm just going to faff with a few colours and see what I can use. But that's cool. What meeting have you got? Anything to do with your book?
So Dave grabs a hold of Lex and tells them that they are both going to witness. Lights begin to fill the sky, and then an image of the planet appears, and then images of Darkseid's army ravaging the planet.
Definitely check back later, because I'm not going to send any more pictures to Instagram now, because I want people to watch this one.
McCall pleads with Darkseid to let his family go. He will do anything. Without saying a word, Darkseid's eyes begin to glow when the blast wraps around McCall and goes straight towards his
I'll send you a few pictures, but tomorrow we'll be sketching on the Critter File, guys, so tune in for that one tomorrow. I might start it a bit earlier because it's going to take me a while to get everything done and get everything sorted. And I may continue on this afternoon, but it is now 5 o'clock in the afternoon here for me. So I'm going to have to stop soon anyway and make some dinner for me and my son and get some things sorted. But hopefully, guys, you have enjoyed it today. Thank you very much again to Jean, Nicole Jean, for joining. And I love to, it's great for her to keep joining in. Again, she's got her own page over on Instagram, guys. Same name, different place. Check what she's gotten up to. She's got a different name on Instagram, guys. But if you go to her channel, I'm pretty sure she would leave a link there somewhere for you.
Char tells him, you must understand that our laws extend to all worlds. Our visions have always been accurate. Enough of this. It is time for us to leave. Lex tries to tell Clark, but Clark stops him and says,
So Nicole, I know you like it, and you will get a picture in a moment sent to you. To give you these via the post or such, I would have to scan them into a computer and then send them to you. I think we need to talk a little bit more on that, to be honest with you, about sharing pictures. So if we can sort of set up something about that, then I would very much appreciate that. I am going to be staying up, and I am more available today than I am any of the other days, so sort of bear that one in mind. And let me know what you want to talk about things that you obviously want me to do for you. But definitely get in touch, and definitely let me know what you think of this one, and we'll talk more as you've got a meeting.
It's as simple as that. While Clark and Lex fly through the portal, and Call says that they can disrupt their journey and drop them right where he needs them to be. Inside the portal, Clark asks how long does it take to return home. Normally seconds. Something is wrong. A blast shoots its way up through the portal.
I don't know if this is going to do your pictures, the idea of what you've got for your characters, because I know your characters are a lot different the way I draw. But let me know what you like about this one, because I can take it to another picture. There is quite a bit of delay because those messages are coming in after what I'm saying.
This world has a red sun, and those powers are fading fast. Maybe we should get ready and prepare for the call and Zade's arrival. But moments later, an explosion goes off, throwing the 2 men away. Zade rushes in, throwing Clark to the ground, and the call flies in to finish him off. But before the strike can hit, Lex does the unbelievable, doing a self-sacrificing act, jumping in the path of the sword, telling them that if they want to get to Superman, they're going to have to get through me. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Lois is trying to research the disappearance of the Gentricon building. John looks at her computer screen and says, actually, him and Dad found it. The one who put it there is the guy that Dad's after. With a knock on the door, Lois goes back to work stating that if it's their lunch, money is on the counter. John runs to the door and he opens.
Like I said, if you've got like a WhatsApp, I'll send you my number on WhatsApp. You can call me on that, and we can talk over the internet then. It'll be a free call. It won't be a long distance call because it's over the internet. Or we'll have to do some sort of Skype. I can download Skype to the PC. Things like that. But let me know what you think about that on the Instagram. We'll talk more on Instagram. As for doing live streams with each other, we already know it'll go, but I've got really bad phone to be able to do it.
And Lex mentions that he could try the key now to see if he can get them back home. But Clark tells him even if they do, Lacall will follow. They're going to have to settle this fight right now. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Mysterio Clark tells John that he's a friend of Lois's. Is she home? Lois runs to the door telling John to get away, and Mysterio Clark says there's no need to panic. She explains that they're just teaching John not to talk to strangers, and he's her cousin's son. Mysterio Clark tells her, oh, I'm sorry for scaring him. I just wanted to stop by and see if there's anything I could do to help him.
So you like the wings, cross, and he's holding a book. Obviously you don't like the mask, I'm assuming. But the face that I will draw for you won't be very good.
Why? Back in the unknown planet, Clark and Lex came up with the idea to split up.
That's why this one's wearing a mask.
There's no way that he could fight up.
But I like the mask anyway, that's why I put it in.
Clark sneaks up on Zayd by throwing his cape over his head. Using the armlet, he begins to beat into Zayd's head until he knocks him into a wall. As Lacall raises his knife to Lex's throat, Zayd tells him to wait. The Kryptonian could have easily killed him, but he didn't. They should at least hear him out. Clark tells him that he could just stun them.
But again, guys, if there is anything that you guys want in this month or next month, as next month will be themed towards like fireworks and things like that, let me know what you guys want to see for the fireworks next week. So next month, because again, it's Guy Fawkes over in England. So we're going to be doing something Guy Fawkesy, something fireworks sort of themed. Maybe we'll go into like where fireworks originated from, which is China, I believe. I believe. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, next month, that's next month's thing because it's Guy Fawkes this in England. If you don't know Guy Fawkes, that is the guy that tried to blow up Parliament. And if you watch the film V for Vendetta, which I might do a themed video on that one actually. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I might do that one.
Open-minded to judge a man for what he is, and not what I feared he would become. Lex extends his arm. Rush start. And Superman shakes his hand, stating, "Rush start." The two men part their ways, returning back to their normal lives. Back on that planet, Zayd asks Lacall, what did he see? With images of Clark stopping Lex, he tells him, enough to know that I don't have to worry. He's in for a hell of a trip. The Action Comic storyline is probably one of my favorites.
This whole month is Dark Month. As I was saying, guys, Wings is this week. I will be doing another picture, hopefully this week, doing another winged picture. And I might go back and criticise this one later, but I can't see this one being a problem as it was the last one. I didn't enjoy doing that. And we'll see what else I can do today while I finish this one off. And once I have, guys, I will let you know up on Instagram what the picture's like. But everybody that has watched today, thank you very much so far. And keep watching if you want to see some more.
This is the complete story series brought to you by Team Comic Story. It's the most epic way to recap your favorite storylines in comic books with music.
What color to do the shirt and belt? I don't think.
Some of the plot points will allow for a speedy recap. In the DC Rebirth, there has been a large.
What color shall I do the top?
Who is Clark? You see, this is the same timeline as the New 52, and in that timeline, we had a Superman who went by the name Clark Kent, but he died heroically saving the world. No, he saved his friends. Luckily, This world would not be without a Superman. You see, in the DC universe, there is a thing called the multiverse. Other universes with different possibilities for your favorite heroes. A Superman from one of these worlds found himself on the New 52 world. He is older, wiser, and more experienced. He has a wife named Lois and a son named Jonathan. He had the life that many fans of Superman wanted for Superman. But something was wrong. He didn't belong. And no matter what people said about him,
What color? I like green, but I don't think green would fit in an emerald green, maybe?
Arrived in this world, and no one
Maybe just a green belt. Let's get the pencils out.
And checked the memories of this individual, and for all intents and purposes, this Clark Kent was in fact Clark Kent. While this was going on, there is a villain known as Mr. Oz making changes to the Rebirth universe by removing key players. He's already removed Tim Drake, Doomsday, and even Prophecy from the game board, as he calls it, placing them into a prison so strong that none of them can break free. So, what of the prisoners that he captured before we knew what he was doing? What if one of those prisoners got out? Mr. Oz walks through his prison into the cell of an escaped prisoner, and all he sees are the scrawlings on the wall. Superman will save me. Superman, please. Superman, where are you? Please. Superman. Superman himself is now standing in his home with his wife and son on the anniversary of their marriage. The pineapple upside-down cake is placed onto the table, and Superman warns his son not to use his freeze breath to blow out the candles. It's a happy time as Jonathan is sucking the frosting off of the candles, and he hears someone at the door. He opens it and sees a book on the doorstep, and he looks up to see Clark Kent. Crypto runs over barking at him, but Clark looks at him. It's me, boy. Good boy. And he walks away as Superman puts on his suit. Superman and Lois have no idea who this Clark Kent is, and now he knows where they live. And as Superman floats outside, he can't see Clark anywhere. It's like he vanished. Lois looks at the book and sees the name Kent on the cover. And as she flips through the pages, her eyes grow wide as she sees them. It's Superman and Lois's lives before all of this, before the universal shift, the new farm, and before John. And as that mystery begins to settle into their minds, they see something even more mysterious. A blue flame burning away at the kitchen curtains. As any parents on a farm would do, they begin to protect their son and try to put out the flames. But they quickly discover that nothing they do works. Lois notes that things seem to be vanishing, and Superman tells her it's almost like they're being erased. But the most panicked moment begins when John looks at them, with blue flames on himself, telling them, I'm scared. Superman leaps to his son, telling him, everything's fine, kiddo. I'll have it out in a second. But then John vanishes from his father's arms, and Superman is left panicking, only to hear his son cry out for him. A red blur zips up the stairs to find Jonathan sitting on a pool table. He tries to reach out for him, only to have him vanish again and yell, No! John calls out once again for his father, so Superman breaks through the ceiling into the attic, where he grabs his son, wrapping him in his cape, and he flies out into the front yard. Lois panics, running over to her son, asking if he's okay. And Superman lays there, holding him in his arms, telling her that he thinks so. But the blue flames begin to engulf him once again. He calls out for his parents quietly, and then the fear begins to set in. He holds his father tight, trying anything not to vanish, begging for his father. Don't let me go, Dad. But Superman closes his eyes tight, trying his best to hold on to his son without injuring him, telling him, I won't ever. But with the tears streaming down on both of their faces, they both begin to realize that there is nothing that they can do. They watch as their son begins to vanish into the night, as Superman tells him, focus on my eyes, stay with me. But that's the last thing that they see. His eyes as they fade away, pleading with his parents not to let him go. Superman holds on to what is now only his cape, and he cries out, No! And they both look down at the photo album, and they begin to see blank photos. As Superman tells Lois, we didn't lose John. That Clark Kent took him. We're going to get him back. They begin to race over to Metropolis, where Superman swings the door open, demanding that Kent show himself. But quickly they begin to find that they have the wrong spot, as Kent isn't around. They begin their investigation, and they discover that after going through the house, it would appear that Clark Kent just moved in. He has nothing but sugary sweets and candy in his cupboards. And that's when Clark walks in asking what they're doing. But Superman isn't playing any games anymore, and he speeds over to him with one simple question. Where is John? He grabs Clark by his shirt collar, with veins bulging from his neck. But Clark seems unfazed. Your son? The one you never told me about? Maybe because you liked him better than me? Superman tightens his grip. Why would you say that? What does that even mean? Clark surprisingly kicks Superman in the chest, pushing him away. You're all so worried about saving him. But what I want to know is, why didn't you save me? Superman is tired of playing games as he jumps back in with his arm pulled back, ready to take a swing, but Clark continues. I was willing to help you, but you let me down. And then the most shocking moment happens as Clark catches Superman. Punch. You left me all alone. Superman asks him, how? And Clark throws him aside like a plaything. The universe around them begins to alter and warp, and Superman just eyeballs him. I have no idea which enemy could do something so, but Clark cuts him off. Enemy? I'm your friend, Supes, the only one capable of helping you. Superman sees the world continuing to shift, and he asks the question of the day. My God, what kind of sick game is this? Game? I like games. Let's play. Instantly, Clark turns into classic Lex Luthor, holding Superman by the throat. Luthor! Superman asks him. Brr, wrong. And then he turns into Bizarro. Who I am? Bizarro? Brr, wrong again. And then he turns into Brainiac. Query. What is my name? You aren't Brainiac. Obviously, so who am I? He then turns into Mongol and he gets to crush Superman's head. Say my name. You aren't Mongol. You can't say my name because you know who I am. The mysterious person continues to change into Parasite, Cyborg Superman, Doomsday, demanding to know who is he. And Lois figures it out. Mr. Mxyzptlk, and in a flash, he changes into his proper form. Ta-da! Hey there, old buddy, old pal. Superman lunges at him. Bring back our son. He didn't do anything. Mxyzptlk warps locations, telling him, maybe not, but you did forget me, so in return, I'm gonna make you forget him. And then in a red flash, he's gone, leaving Superman and Lois standing there, with Lois asking the new question of the night. Who's John? Superman falls to his knees in front of Lois, taking her hand. Lois, I need you to remember, he's our son. She pulls her hand away. I'm flattered, Superman, but we're not family. Superman makes a fist, gritting his teeth. Mxyzptlk. And in a pop, he returns. Did someone say, a game? Yes, a game. You have to stay here and play a game. It's what we do, right? Mxyzptlk considers it for a moment, and then a sinister grin forms on his face. It's what we used to do. And with a snap, he removes the planet, bringing all three of them to a new plane of existence, one without the rules of gravity, physics, or even reality. Superman notices the whole location is very blue, and he asks him, what about that? And Mxyzptlk yelled back, boring! It's just the way things look around here. It's your inner essence that makes you you and what made this. Now, let's leave Yoko Ono behind so we can have some real fun! And Superman pulls her close. Lois stays with me. Lois and Clark and Lois, you two always end up together, even in the fractured quantum space-time universe. Frankly, your cosmic PDA is just gross. Even when all of that hope and optimism was split into two of you to play with, and neither of you came to save me. Are you telling me that I was split in two? You'd think I'd be sad that the other one exploded into red energy, but net serves him right. Anyway, moving on. Welcome to Infinite Planet. In front of Superman and Lois is a weird-looking version of the Daily Planet. But Superman has had enough, and he demands to know where John is. Mxyzptlk tells him that he's on top of the planet. All he has to do is get there. So Superman rockets off, only to be smacked back down. You should know, Superman, we gotta play by the rules. If you win and make it to the top, I will go far, far away and give you John. And if you lose, I'll keep John here in the fifth dimension. With that, Superman signs the contract. Meanwhile, in the planet at the top, John is floating, commenting how he misses his parents. That's when two balls of red energy float by him and they begin talking to him before handing him a photo. On that photo are the new 52 versions of Superman and Lois Lane. John smiles, asking if the balls of energy are mom and dad, and they somehow inform him that they are not. So John explains the whole situation about them all being separated, and he asks the balls of energy for help, to which they reply by giving him some of their power. Meanwhile, Superman and Lois are playing his game, a board game of sorts where they have to relive multiple situations so that he can break them up again. But in the end, nothing can separate Lois and Superman as he comes breaking out of the game, calling for his son. And that's when John hears him. So he asks the balls of energy to help him get out of his little prison. Meanwhile, it would appear that Superman and Lois are actually beginning to lose, and Superman is slowly beginning to forget his son. He knows that he has one, and that's why he's here. But what's his son's name? What is his name? And John begins to listen to this as he hears his father outside of his prison, and he feels the balls of red energy feeding him their power. My name is Jonathan Samuel Kent. And then he lets the energy surge through him, breaking his prison as he shouts, I'm your son! The prison explodes, throwing Mxyzptlk, Superman, and Lois aside as John breaks out, focusing so hard that he's biting down at his tongue. And Mxyzptlk calls them all cheaters as the energy explodes. And there stands the new 52 Superman and Lois. John explains that his father did it. But Mxyzptlk smirks. Maybe, maybe not. Superman lands and turns to John, wondering who he is. John tries to explain, but both Superman and Lois tell him that they don't know who he is. They aren't together. Mxyzptlk laughs. And John cries out that he said that if they reached him,
I like that.
And Mxyzptlk asks him, do you think that I control all of this? I can take advantage of what's there. Superman reaches out, grabbing Mxyzptlk and demanding to know who is behind this.
Angels and Demons.
And Mixie continues to smile. Isn't a better question, who are you? Think about it. Is Lois even Lois? Are you even you? Or am I you? Mxyzptlk changes into Clark Kent again. So Superman pushes him aside, telling him, enough. I played the game. I passed the test. Mixie falls to the ground, telling him, careful there, buddy. We have unresolved issues. He then grows to the size of a building and begins to battle it out with Superman as he wants to know.
Well, there goes the playlist. Might put the telly on in a minute so you can hear something in the background, guys. But let me know, because I'm pretty much finished now. I can't see anything else that I need to do to this. The book can stay white as it is. And then again, I could make it like a black color, dark color, maybe put a bit grey to it. I'll do that in a second. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Or if you're watching live, if you're not watching live, definitely leave me a comment. And guys, if you have liked today's stream, don't forget you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like for next time, as tomorrow we'll be doing some more wings. I'm possibly going to be digitizing this, taking it over to the critter file like I normally do, but we may just jump straight into another picture drawn by pencil. But again, guys, my name is Blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games. And tonight we'll be playing some more games, so don't forget to tune in for that one, because it's going to be Spider-Man PS4. But hopefully, guys, you have enjoyed today's video, as we've inked, we've sketched the first drawing yesterday, then we've gone to inking today, and put a little bit of Copic colouring and a little bit of pencil in there as well. I don't think I'm going to be putting any more Copic colours, because I think the colours that I do have are very, very dark. So if I use them, they'll sort of spoil the piece. What I need to do, guys, is go and get myself a new set of Copic markers, which I think I'll do this week, maybe next week. It all depends on what I'm going to be getting up to. But guys, if you have liked it today, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button so you can see some more next time on Angels and Demons, as this week is Dark Month. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to go over to Instagram. Again, it's same name, different place. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next stream or daily video. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye for now.